Yeah, so I think so. Cap's flying, Hugo's workshopping,
Mm-hmm.
Colleen is fixing up Eileen. Or she fixed up Eileen.
Yeah, she's put Eileen on some drugs and other things that just will generally help rebalance her. It'll speed her recovery by some. I think there are actually rules in the book for that. Like the old D&D bed rest versus just natural healing.
Mm. Jesus, who uses natural healing in D&D? That's what
Yeah.
spells are for. uh, um.
Well, which of you
Well,
would like to start?
I was gonna say, dude's first thing is easy to establish at the very least. He's going to fix those 3 hit points worth of damage.
Yeah. Uh,
How much of the time trip does that eat? Because I don't remember what the. Does it even. It's not an
yeah.
hour per hit point.
No, it was an 8
Yeah.
hour period and a number of hit points equal to your fixed skill.
Gotcha. Which, since he's at 3 now, isn't easy enough to just nail down as the 8 hours takes him 3 hit points.
Yeah. That is actually quite easy.
All right. So yes, for whatever else that Colleen and Hugo get up to during that 8 hour period, if they ask or need to know, dude has been banging around on the ship, fixing the little bits of damage that we took.
I mean, apart from fixing his vending machine and creating that, that's all Hugo's currently occupied with. Just making sure to keep out the bridge.
I'm trying to remember. We set that up in a section of the main work area, didn't we? For him.
Away
Yeah.
from clean stuff.
Right, yeah. Well, we try to keep everything away from Colleen's stuff.
Yeah, it's a fixed skill per day of work.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's go shine a spotlight on Colleen, since Colleen has some definite interaction she was going to take. Where is Colleen right now?
She'd be in, well, the med bay.
Okay. Both Karina and Eileen are there watching something.
Well, what are they watching?
Karina has taken a liking to Looney Tunes.
Those cartoons will survive the heat death of the universe.
We'll see.
Yes, probably, especially if Mr. Disney has anything to do with it. Oh, he's still alive, I'm sure of it.
Was just gonna say, isn't this like the perfect time period to revive him?
Yeah, pretty much. every time the copyright starts to end, he somehow rises from the grave. Extend it for another 100 years.
Yeah, there is one planet that is functionally Disneyland. thanks to the scream, it's broken off on its own and has potentially mutated into a very strange place. No longer the happiest place in the galaxy.
Yeah,
rope
Karina put Looney Tunes on, and it's just playing back to back, and Eileen is watching along too.
Well, how's it going? See you for the entertainment.
Eileen shrugs. Used to watch.
Oh, come on. It's a little bit funny.
I used to watch shows like this with my daughter.
I hope nobody got any new holes that need fixing.
Since when?
Since last time I checked.
We haven't stood up and shot each other. And Karina just idly shakes her head in acknowledgement.
Well, that's a plus. On this trip, that's progress. So, any new ideas from either of you?
Any new what?
Ideas.
Oh.
You see, both of you are at a point in life where you need to make a plan. Kind of make better decisions. Think of it as group therapy. Let's start with
Eileen looks over at Colleen,
Karina.
raises an eyebrow. I don't think either of us are of a mind to take advice from you, kid. No offense.
I'm not saying I have advice. I just really good at plans.
Karina glances away from the screen. Looks over at Colleen. No shrinks. Looks back at the TV.
Makes you feel better. I'm not qualified to be a shrink.
Did not think so.
Just good at patching holes and things. But, well, what's the plan? What would you like to do?
Colleen is still looking at Karina.
Yup.
She looks back over at Colleen. Shrugs again. I don't have a plan.
Well, that's why I'm here. We am gonna make plans.
She takes in a deep breath. Fine. Drop me off at March. I will make New Year's resolution.
Well, like what? What would you like to do? I mean, why did you get out of there in the first place? I mean,
I will
I know March.
eat
So, yeah.
healthier. Live my life to fullest. Get out of bed with a smile on face every day. Eileen is looking over and contributes. Have sex at least once a week. Karina nods. Duh. Watch sunset.
Wait.
Eileen contributes. Sing in the shower. And they actually back and forth a few more times. Just the kind of canned, you know, improve your life or improve your outlook advice that you see in fortune cookies and horoscopes and various places that are just regurgitating the same sappy bullcrap.
The kind of stuff you would hear from someone who has a love, laugh, live big poster on the side of their living room.
Probably, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they're both enjoying it. Every time Colleen tries to say something, one of them comes up with something else. Finally, after a
Nice.
moment of silence, Karina is looking over at Colleen, a little bit more happy of a twinkle in her eyes. Is good plan?
Well, in general, yes.
Ah, good. I'm done.
Thinking more life changing, as in, hey, maybe if you want to go to space, make better choices on the way you go.
She rolls her eyes. It was a mistake.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to be dropped off at March, I'm sure it can be arranged at some point.
Don't need to
But I mean,
reorganize my life because I took a bad job.
well, I mean, do you want to fly in space, or is there something else you'd rather do?
I want to be paid. I want to eat. Have a warm bed every morning. What more do people want?
Maybe something that is nice and fulfilling as a job?
Eileen chips in. The sex. And
Is it
Karina
with you people
nods.
and
Duh is fulfilling.
what is it with you people and sex?
Uh, Colleen is still looking at Karina.
She's looking back and forth between the two.
She catches Eileen as she's finishing mouthing something over towards Karina, and then looks over at Karina. And she has a silent of realization.
Well,
From Eileen. It's nothing, kid. We're just giving you a hard time.
okay.
Not every mistake needs a life plan or a tether.
Well, no, but it's great to have plans. I mean, how else do you get to where you need to be? I mean, she obviously wants to eat. The question is, I mean, you can literally do anything to, well, eat. Question is, does she want to fly in space? Does she just want to find a nice ship somewhere? Or was this trip into space the big wake-up call and she will never leave an atmosphere again?
Karina pipes up. You going to find me ship?
Maybe, if that's the thing. Is that what you want?
Hmm.
Do you like flying? Do
I
you
like
want to be in
flying.
space? Do you want to find a nice ship?
It's nice to be in the quiet of space with nobody else. Present company excluded.
Alright, well, let's make that the goal. Find you somewhere where you can fly with less risk.
There's always
I
going to
mean,
be risk. This is from Eileen.
well, there's risk and there's risk. I mean, if you want to fly, I'm sure we could maybe talk to Hugo. He knows people. I mean, the man was a courier. That way, fast ships, you get to fly. Not too many people around, from what I understand, and you get paid well.
Eileen looks over at Karina, raising an eyebrow. It's worth a look. And Karina shrugs. Duh. Let me. You talk to Hugo for me then.
Sure. I can do that. See? One big problem solved. We're making progress. You didn't even have to get out from the mad couch.
Duh. You fix problem with sex too, right? Good.
Do you want me to talk to Hugo about that too?
Duh.
Okay.
They are they're both containing their laughter. Karina a bit better than Eileen.
I mean, there's a Nemo? He's made us like I thought.
Eileen shakes her head real quick. Too analytical. Thinks too much.
With no attachments, but I'm sure he does come with attachments. Yeah, I'll talk to Hugo.
We're not going to get into this discussion here, but Eileen and Karina kind of turn on Colleen and teasingly, and both play at being curious and asking her to go into more detail about attachments.
I don't know. I suppose he has them. I mean, he has a whole
No.
gallery of stuff that's growing over there.
They rapid fire, basically harass and tease. So, to me as a GM, because this is not a conversation that I actually want to play out, this is either end of scene with Colleen being done with it, or end of that particular line of conversation with Colleen somehow putting an end to it.
Yeah, she would change that line of conversation.
Okay. it takes some effort from her. In fact, let's go ahead and get a talk from her, using whichever mental skill you want to use, to see how that conversation topic, that conversation topic change works out.
Oh, pure charisma.
Okay. Okay. It's either. Well, would you like to describe how she finally manages to escape the teasing of Karina and Eileen, or do you want me to do that?
I think at some point she would just look so uncomfortable that they'll stop.
Yes, that works for me.
The pity conversational changer.
No. They knew that Eileen knew that this was going to make Colleen uncomfortable, which is actually why she launched into it. But she also, sees, recognizes, and acknowledges that it's gone far enough. We've had our fun, and she lets off, and Karina follows shortly after.
gonna say it's written plainly on her face.
It is.
All right, all right, all right. We have one plan figured out. Great. Talk to you about stuff. Unmentionable stuff, mentionable stuff. All right. Now over to you.
Oh, I get this treatment too.
Yeah?
Can't I go with her plan with the sunsets and the singing in the shower?
Well, we could make that part of things. I mean, technically, you can sing in the shower right now.
Great.
You take a shower and
We'll make a
you always have
multi-step
some
plan,
sort
and
of
that's my
sense.
first step. As soon as I'm out of this bed, I'll start singing in the shower.
Okay, you can have a sunset or a sunrise anytime you want in space. It's weird, but it can have it.
Kind of takes away the value, doesn't it?
No?
It's not quite the same without the actual sunset. It was just, the sun moving across a window.
Well, we could dip behind a planet, up and down. You could have sunset, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, darkness,
Yeah, that's.
more darkness,
Why
sunrise.
don't you see if Hugo's willing to do that too? That'd be nice.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
Hmm.
No, I was talking about the other plan.
There is nothing else to talk about, kid.
Well, yes, there's. You've never actually told me. What is it that you want?
I did. I told you that I want my daughter to be safe.
Yes, but do you want them safe elsewhere? Do you want to be safe together? That's like a big thing.
I
If
don't.
it's like, hey,
She's safe right now. She's safe with her father.
yeah. But
Colleen, I've
different
said
from
she's better out of my life. She's better off out of my life.
see, I just don't believe that.
We just
I mean,
ran
unless you
from
really
a perimeter
don't.
ship, and then we chased a perimeter ship, and then we boarded a perimeter ship. We don't know what
Then
else
you
is
ran
out
away.
there. My daughter's not safe with me.
Well, she's not safe with you here. But if we could figure something out where the three of you can be on a nice planet or something? I mean, is that desirable? Is that what you want? Or it's nice that they are somewhere where you have awesome adventures? Meet friendly androids?
Eileen's face goes a little dark.
Because I mean, that's the big question. If you tell me, hey, I want to get to a point where your family is together and safe, then we can figure out a way to make that happen. If you say I don't really care all that
I don't
much, I
want that, Colleen.
prefer my freedom.
I'm
You
happy
don't
with
want to
things
be
as
with
they
them
are.
and safe. All right. Still not sure I believe that. Seeing parentless as I am, sometimes it would be kind of nice to have parents.
Well, she has her father.
Yeah,
He's
but she also has a mom.
a
There's an
safe,
awesome kick-ass
stable
mom that can
man.
shoot things.
Well, that's the thing about her father is he's never shot things. He hasn't shot down. He hasn't done the things that I've done. You know, all those things that your captain, Porcelain, on her rap sheet. You think she'd make a good mother?
Huh. No?
And why not?
She'd probably space the kid the second it throws a tantrum? Wait, would that even work if it's her kid? That's just a minor inconvenience. But you are not her. That's the thing.
Point is,
You are.
she's got some ghosts.
But yeah, but we're not talking to making her mother of the year here.
I'm not exactly innocent.
Yeah, but you're not Porcelain either.
No, everything I did, I was following someone else's orders.
See, you're good at taking directions. It's a valuable skill.
She just stares at Eileen, or at Colleen.
I mean, you also obviously care about them. I mean, don't you miss them?
I would like some space time with Marissa.
Okay, okay.
Space time is like FaceTime, but space. Just to clarify.
I figured.
Yeah, she's not actually asking for the actual physical, non-physical space time.
I was gonna say she's not asking for the cosmological
Yeah,
constant. She's not asking for a chunk of the essence of the universe.
no.
Aww.
Gonna say we might actually be able to provide that easier than
Yeah, maybe.
time with her daughter.
Well, are they still on that space station?
Yeah, last I heard.
Alright, alright. Well, so we just need to drop into that system and then we can figure something out.
That would be nice. Sure, kid. That's a good start to whatever grand plan you have
I mean,
in mind for me.
could also, we could also start with maybe sending messages. Kind of like back and forth, set up nice dummy account where you can send messages to her and then occasionally we can collect messages from her just for
It's
starters.
not a good idea. Any
All right.
messages going into Henry Station are vetted by Union.
That's fine.
No, I used to work for Union.
Well, so did I, presumably? Well, here's the thing. Messages might get vetted. That's fine. I'm not saying we're sending it in clear text, as in your name and everything. I'm just saying that might be a start. So why don't I figure out a way
No,
of getting messages to her?
no,
I'm good at that.
no.
How is that more of a problem than spacetime?
Because with messages, if Union takes exception to anything, I'm not there to try and mitigate the damage. I don't know what's happening. Get me in the same space as her.
All right. can do that, but saying messages are easier.
Messages are risky. No messages.
All right. All right, let's see what I can do about space-time.
She kind of slowly nods her head. That would be nice.
All right, all right. Oh, guess it's a start. We'll go from there. See? Progress?
Yeah, you pulled it out of us.
Well, you shouldn't be hiding anything from your doctor.
You got a license for that claim?
Didn't say medical doctor.
Let's talk about you, your plans, your progress. Where's your aptitude card, Colleen?
Well, the last time I was on March, it turns out it was more of an attitude card.
You can get aptitude cards in other places.
And now I want.
Have you seen the places we've been to?
Sos had some undercurrent ideas. Sure, you can get in there. I'd be happy to have someone like you. Galactic Mandate would take you, Colleen.
Yeah. For murder, trespassing, and several other things. Last time I checked. They totally would.
Yeah, and you're still a kid. You do some time, you do some service, you get yourself some education. You're the one whose future we should be talking about here. How old are you?
17-ish? Besides, I'm set. I have a trust fund.
And what are you going to do with that with no aptitude card?
Spend it on, well, at least some cake.
It
And
won't.
frivolous things. Also, the fucking ship needs fixing.
That's the problem. You will spend it, and you have no legitimate way of recovering those funds. You're stuck on this ship pirating and doing whatever else on this ship.
I can do stuff on planets too. I mean, I'm sure there's some local governments that need overthrowing. Hey, that's how we met.
Keyword legitimate.
I'm sure there are legitimate ways to overthrow a government.
All of those require an aptitude card.
But your guy didn't ask for one.
Who didn't?
Your guy? Your
Well,
boss?
there's a common link there. The way he wanted to overthrow the government was not legitimate.
Well, in the government's eyes. I'm fine. Besides, where else do I get to work on crazy stuff? Pretty sure if I worked anywhere legitimate, they would constantly ask me, hey, what are you doing? How does that work? What does it do?
So then you
I
start
don't
your
like
own
that.
business.
Well,
You start your
I
own
might be more.
research. R&D.
Well, technically, there's the family business.
I can't remember if Colleen or if Eileen knows about that. I don't think she does.
Let me think about it. Da-da-da-da-da.
I mean, I know Eileen. I mean, sorry, Colleen
No.
telling the rest of the crew, but none of us would have told
Uh,
Eileen about that. That's all on Colleen to
She
sell
hasn't
people.
actually told the crew.
yeah, that
Either.
wasn't willing either.
No, it wasn't, but we know.
Some of the crew know.
Yes.
Well, then Eileen asks, family business?
So, you remember when we were in March having wacky adventures? Wait, you were on the ship the entire time, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
So, I got kidnapped while I'm there.
Again?
I'm well, I'm really good at getting kidnapped.
Karina repeats the same word. She's looked over from her cartoons now. Again? What's mean again?
Well, see, just like I met you when you tried to put holes in people and I put holes in you, I met her when she kidnapped me. After I tried overthrowing a government on her boss's behalf.
Eileen nods to Karina.
It's a really different version of Meet Cute.
And Karina looks back at her cartoons. Duh. Better off ship, better off.
Well, so that's beside the point. So I might have gotten kidnapped again. It's fine. It once again worked out. Is there a career in getting kidnapped? Is that like a weird sort of networking thing? You get kidnapped to meet the people you need to talk to anyway? Or want to talk to? No. Besides, so I was on March, and it turns out they had recorded me. So turns out my last name is Mercure. You might have heard of them.
The Mercure?
Yeah.
Wait, 16 years. Are you the lost baby Mercure? Eileen's
Most
narrowing her eyes.
likely.
What
It
do you...
seems that way.
How did you... One moment, please.
I mean, I always felt I was a little bit mercurial.
But I just want this whole conversation to have turned around to the point where Eileen is now pulling out one of those long laying couches for Colleen, plunking her down on it, sitting in a chair and pulling out a notepad. So, tell me about your mother.
Yeah, no, that's not exactly in character for Eileen.
No. But an interrogation works.
That might.
She can ask Cap if she can be reassigned to a room that has a two-way mirror in the middle.
Oh. Eileen asks, so how have you been unknown for so long?
See, I would really like to know that too. Because I have no idea. Remember? No
Yeah.
pun intended. Memory loss?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. However, the timing of finding out that my sister might have been involved in the whole thing, which is entirely possible.
Why do you
Came
think your
after.
sister was involved?
Well, first, she's running the entire thing. Second of all, our little killer bot? the second he picked up my name, well, my supposed real name, he broadcast my location at the time.
And you don't think that's just
So,
because he was looking for you?
no, that went elsewhere.
Where did it go?
See, we don't know.
You don't know, you're making assumptions. Your sister
Uh,
is running things, that's natural. Both your parents died at the same time as baby Mercure. Audrey, wasn't it?
yup.
Yeah. Yeah, so your sister was the only one to take over. If she thinks that you're still
Maybe.
alive, I would think it would be natural to try and send someone to find her baby sister.
Eh, I am not so sure. But we'll find out soon enough. I might have sent her a message that makes it absolutely clear I'm alive.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
What is your hesitation with simply going to uh Thurid, I think, and talking to her?
Well, he might have to do that anyway. Turns out he also got an important part of our ship. After her pals kind of scavenged it from us.
Hmm.
Let's just say I have a weird, funny feeling.
Are you sure it's not your distrust getting in the way? Think about
Well,
this, Colleen. If if you're in a position, if you were in a position, when you took over your company, your parents' company suddenly, and your whole family's gone, but there's some chance of finding any of them, because have you found any news on how exactly you disappeared? Your parents disappeared?
well, supposedly they died in, well, the system where, funny enough, I probably was stuck for a while. That's the system where I supposedly burned an old man to death. And then I ended up on this ship. So, call it paranoia, but bad things might have happened. Someone might have actually found me.
Hey
And I
everyone,
had to run.
Hey, Mel.
sorry about the delay. I am here now.
Okay, great. Um, glad you're here. We will add Nemo into the mix. This will be mostly
we're
our RP
psyched.
day. Hope you don't mind.
Isn't it always?
Hey, there we go.
We are in the
I mean,
middle of a
isn't
scene
that
with
the
Colleen
point?
though, so please hold comments.
Of course.
Eileen, Squints and I'd say you've got fair reason to be a little bit paranoid, but you know, if we're all taking away something from this med bay, I'd suggest maybe you consider the possibility that she isn't your enemy. That
Oh, yeah.
she's taken some measures to try and pick back up some of her family.
It's possible.
You want me to reconnect with my
find out.
daughter. Think about the same thing for her.
Well, in all fairness, she supposedly is a genius that's into bioweapons.
Mercure has its hands in a lot of pots, just like all the big megas do.
Why not? Well, I said, well, find out. Just have reasons to be at least a little worried.
Cautious. Go in open-hearted. You got a big heart already, kid. Go in with that. Keep an open mind.
I'm gonna get kidnapped again, aren't I?
Is it kidnapping if your sister keeps you?
Yeah. Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I guess I have a kidnapping to look forward to. Maybe it goes as great as the last couple. But yeah, so I'm kinda rich. Maybe. Rich. See?
Yeah, but you'll burn through that very fast. So that's your plan. Make contact with your sister. Find out what you can do about getting an aptitude card. You don't want this ship and this lifestyle to be the only future you have.
It's not so bad. Also, have you met those people? They'd be doomed without me. Doomed.
Maybe they need to think of another line of work too.
Well, unfortunately, the aptitude card is more like a rap sheet. Besides, I have things to do. Things to figure out. Besides, I like space. Space is nice. It's fast.
I think you're just making excuses.
Nah. No, I kinda, for the most part, like what I'm doing. Everything is a downside. Well, but I'll keep you updated what happens with my sister. Hell, you might find out if we get shot at some point.
Sorry for the question. Why don't they have like good dramatic emotional music? Oh well. We'll just play that.
Well, I'll leave you guys to your cartoons. Try any maniacs. You'll love it.
Karina. Waves, kind of just waves culling away.
And I'll talk to Hugo about the things?
Duh. All the
Just one of
things.
you or both of you?
Eileen and Karina look at each other. Karina's the first to answer. Both.
Okay.
Poor Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen hurries out of there.
Okay. Welcome, Mel. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you.
um. Well, why don't we have a bit of conversation with Hugo and Tuvan?
Are we missing Emma?
We are missing Emma today.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Ben?
Sure thing.
Okay. Tuvan was quite happy to join him in the workshop, as he appears to have had some questions. Because the first thing he does when he gets over to Hugo, aside from getting whatever bit or bob or a wrench or tool Hugo asks for. I can just imagine Tuvon kind of crossing by the workshop and seeing Hugo in there and padding on up. Hugo overhearing him, running and saying, "Get me that spanner wrench," or some sort.
Hyper spanner.
Hyper spanner. Get me the hyper spanner. Tuvon diverts just to get that. Walks over, hands it to Hugo, and sits down next to him, looking at whatever Hugo is working on at present. Says, "Why aren't we allowed in the rest of the workshop?"
Mainly because that's clean stuff. You know clean, right?
Yeah?
You know how she can sometimes be a little bit crazy? Well, just
Doesn't-
imagine the stuff she's working on.
Doesn't she want to share?
It's kind of like you don't want to share with her because her stuff might hurt you.
Oh. He looks disappointed at this.
I mean, feel free to ask, but the answer's most probably going to be no. And I would recommend declining if she asks for your help.
Okay.
You never know what she's working on. Why, have you been over there?
I saw the signs and the floor marking.
Yeah, so it's like a caution tape. Keep out the area almost. That's why I try and stay over here away from it.
But it's almost the whole workshop.
Yeah, she kind of, for a small person, she takes up a lot of space.
A little bit quieter, he asks, "Why did we fire the gun?"
Well, you see, there was a ship that was going after some of our friends, and we decided to save our newly met friends, so that way they wouldn't get caught. And as such, we had to fire a couple of rounds to make sure the ship didn't catch up with them.
Did we save our friends?
Only time will tell, but probably not.
He looks sad.
Hey, if things turn around, both figuratively and literally, we might do. Who knows? We'll see. Might just get away.
I hope they do.
Me too, bud. Me too.
It scared me when the cannon fired.
Yeah, that's why Cap put out the announcements. That way, everyone was aware of it. I remember last time people were a little bit confused on why it happened.
We didn't have alert systems in tower.
In the tower?
Yeah.
What do you mean, alert systems? Why would you fire weapons upon people?
Sometimes. The people that had weapons.
So you're defending yourself then?
No. He goes silent. And so does Hugo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not gonna prod him further if you don't want to.
Okay. After a short while of that silence, he he does relate some of life in Skywind Tower. Hang on.
What? He's not using the proper designation?
He's not using the proper designation. He's using the proper noun designation. Um, but he relates that yeah, there was occasional gun violence at the tower on Rain Lilati where he grew up. It was always the 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 mayor of the tower's men shooting somebody else.
So why would they do it then? To make sure people stayed away?
He sometimes talked about keeping people in line.
Right.
I
Making
didn't
sure his
underst-
orders are followed.
I didn't understand it then.
No, when people try to rule through power, means they're not quite so adept in other places. They try to make up with it by showing force. But hey, at least you're out of there now, eh?
Yeah,
Would you ever go back?
no. No, 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 no. No. It's cold. And everybody's sick and scared.
Instead, you get to see plenty of new places, eh?
I do miss my
Lots of
friends though.
stars to see. We're your friends, aren't we?
Yeah, but I had friends in
Your age.
yeah, in Skywind.
Yeah. I've lost some friends along the way, sadly. It's one of them things you have to accept after a little while. Not everyone you'll meet you'll stay in contact with. Some
Yeah.
will go on their own little separate ways, and you've got to accept that sometimes. And sometimes you want to meet the person the next day and they're not there.
He sits back listening to Hugo. Did
Yeah, I
you ever
remember
have
one
to leave any
time,
of your friends?
many a time, unfortunately. I miss them, so I try to keep in, keep connected with them, but you only kind of miss not being home, to be fair.
Where is your home?
My home, you know the Pana system? One where you originally got me on board.
The Space Dogs?
Yeah, that place. The planet right near there, called Astos. Or Astos. Yeah, I'm from there.
Is it cold there?
Nah, it's nice. The place is a little bit, it has its own quirks like your place, but it was, yeah, it had its quirks. Instead of, one person having a lot of power, the corporations had a lot of power. So did the police.
But that's better.
Depends what side you're on. For me and others, not so much.
Were you the bad guys?
No. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He looks a little bit confused. But so you the police are the good guys, right?
They try to uphold their laws. That's what they do.
Their laws.
Yeah, the laws set by the government and others. They try their best to uphold their laws.
Aren't those everyone's laws?
In theory, yeah. Just like in theory, we shouldn't have shot the weapon earlier.
But you said we were
Sometimes,
trying to help friends.
exactly. We were helping our friends out, but that meant blurring the lines a little bit.
I don't like
Which
blurry
is why
lines.
it's difficult. Nobody does, but sometimes you need to.
Yeah.
To
Goes silent and looks at the vending machine. What was he saying?
nothing.
Okay.
So, what flavors do you reckon we should start making sure work first?
Blue and red.
Good choices, good choices.
I kind of like purple too. And green, like Colleen's hair.
All good choices, but how about we start with blue and red? Get them
Okay.
out the way.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna be helping him out with, making sure the blue and red ones work on the vending machine. Because I presume we have like a basic structure now.
Okay. How many days into your build are you?
I haven't updated in a while, only have 3 out of 7. Because I mainly, fly the ship.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit of a priority there.
Yeah. So I think I'm on 3 out of 7.
Excuse me. Which isn't bad. You've got the physical structure completed. You've got the major parts of the build all complete. What you'll be doing for the next couple days is the more fiddly mechanical bits, the finer mechanical bits, and for another day after that, um, most of the user interface and the aesthetics of it. So you've got the physical
Half work
structure
to do.
and all the major components working.
Now I've just got to actually make the vending machine instead of the box.
No, now you've got the, like I said, the nozzles, the parts that attach to the juice boxes or the flavor boxes. Um, guess I would compare it to if you were building a car, you'd have the full on the frame, the drive shaft, the steering wheel, the engine. That's all. That's all done, but none of it's properly interconnected yet. The next 2 days will be getting all those connections where they need to be, as well as well, yeah, all the connections, and then the last day is making sure that those connections properly uh, properly reflect the UI or properly connect to the UI, and putting the doors and the windows and the shell on the car. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know how to build things. I'm just kind of making that up.
Yeah, well, I'll go with the bullshittery.
Every now and then I watch a video that's somebody building something, and I usually turn it off and watch something else.
Good enough. Good enough.
All right, so Hugo will be there with Tuvon for a while. We've got Colleen eventually going to talk to him, and I know that Nemo was wanting to talk to Hugo at some point, have a drink with him, in fact. That sounds like a later thing, unless Mel, you think Nemo would offer to have a drink kind of at the beginning of a day? The concept
Probably
of
not.
of
I
Probably
was
not.
gonna say, wasn't it Dude that was doing that, and
And
Nemo was going to?
that was
oh, it
dude.
was Dude. Yes, that's right.
I was very confused there.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, the kind of the concept of what time of day it is gets real fuzzy in space, especially when you guys are just about to tip over to a new day. So
In space, no one can hear you scream at your alarm clock.
in space, no one can tell you it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Because fuck you.
Are you drinking in the morning? It's not morning. We're in space.
Yeah, and if we had to put a time to it, it actually is about 9:10 p.m. It's just that it's been active. You guys have slept when you know, where you have and when you could, um, and that assignment of time is arbitrary. It may have no reflection on the planets that you've actually been on.
Presumably, we have a ship clock of some sort.
Yeah, just to because otherwise telling people when to be places would be hellish.
Yes.
And I mean, I imagine from the, humanish version of the setting that they haven't moved us biologically past the standard circadian rhythm.
No, that's and that's pretty strongly, at least presently, it's pretty strongly genetic. So
Mm-hmm.
It-
So
it works
not
into a
for
lot
Nemo.
of things. No, although he has been programmed to fit into that as well.
Yeah. I can emulate it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well,
affect me.
let me clarify that. He, as an android, has been designed to do whatever downtime activity needs to be done, which for normal androids is not a whole lot. Basically, just charging. For Nemo, there's a little bit more added to that charging.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. So, well, given that it's basically 10 o'clock, would about now be when Dude wants to go have that drink, or is Dude steadily working? Because he did just kind of start.
Well, yeah. How many hours? I mean, this hasn't eaten up much of
No.
the.
Not at all. But given
The
the type of damage was not just like, something hit the armor at this place. The type of damage that was done is the kind of thing that Dude's having to run diagnostics for where there was stress that may have actually caused some fractures or any kind of strain. And so he's not just going to one place. He's going to be going across the ship several times.
Yeah, I kind of figured. And it was going to be 24 hours before we hit the edge of the system, right?
That is correct.
Trying to decide if Dude would work through and then just sleep when he was finished. I mean, there's no way to know whether or not there's going to be something else that pops up in the system. Dude has no way of knowing explicitly that we are going to have an uninterrupted 24 hours so that he could, work for a couple of hours of the 8 to get the hit points fixed, sleep, then wake up and continue working.
Yeah, I was wrong when I said it's 8. It just says per day, so assume it's kind of looking at working throughout the day. I think it actually intends more that there's a crew, because it does say enough a certain amount of hit points based on the lead engineers. So I'm actually gonna task Chishin in on this as well.
I was gonna say that would absolutely be a usage that dude would. Yeah, if he's got people on the ship that actually are capable of helping,
Mm-hmm.
and for something like this, there's no reason for him not to also bring them in. That's why they're on the ship.
Right. We're gonna. She's gonna pull along. If dude doesn't, she's gonna pull along Vander just for the. Not everyone has to be technically inclined.
Mm-hmm.
You can have someone like Vander who can just do things as told.
When we, as a teenager, when we drywalled our upstairs, my dad had me help him. I had no clue what I was doing, but I was capable of physically helping.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that simplifies things then. So yeah, dude would have gotten things to a point where he can hand off to Chishen and anybody else that she chooses to have help in a physical capacity to make sure that things are taken care of, and kind of signs off. He would definitely make sure to track her down physically rather than just send her a message.
Okay.
I mean, he knows that he is a source of stress for her. There's only so much he can do to change that without actually not taking advantage of what she can do. So he kind of tracks her down in whichever corridor she's working in. Hey, Chishen.
Yes.
All right. Well, you got a handle on what's going on here. I see we've already got the checklist down for this section, that section, and that section. I've been up for longer than I generally care to, and we've had some excitement and some shooting and whatnot. So I'm a bit wiped out. So I'm gonna hand this off to you, and I know you'll get things taken care of. And I'm gonna get some rest tonight. And if you ain't if things ain't done when I'm waking up, I'll jump back in and help you guys get this whole thing taken care of. So I just wanted to make sure you were all right with that.
She mutters something in Common Jin and pulls up the checklist on her datapad.
Right. Well, obviously, if anything comes up, just wake my ass up, because if it's important, I don't want to sleep through it. But and you got that on the list that just occasionally check in with Cap while she's piloting the ship, just to make sure she knows what's going on. If you got to take any systems down or anything like that, just let her know. And I will. I'll be back at work once I'm rested up. Did you need anything while I was
No.
while I'm still here? All right. Well, much appreciated.
She nods. Says, yeah. Go sleep, boss. We'll have this done when you wake up.
I'm I'm sure you will. And,
Go, get.
Right. And dude moves on down the hallway and he kind of mutters to himself, well, at some point I'm gonna understand her. I gotta find out if Colleen's got any kind of like brain language learning or something.
There actually are translator torques in the game.
Nice.
I can get one.
What's that, Ben?
I can get a physical one. A fleshy one.
Oh, yeah, there's also that.
Find yourself a person.
Mm-hmm.
There are now at least 2 people on the ship that speak Common Gen.
All right.
So it sounds like dude wants to rest before going to talk to Hugo, or was his plan to go have a chat and then rest?
He was gonna go have a chat and then rest.
Okay.
He's just checking out for the day before doing what he was going to do there.
That works great for me. It gets my voice out of use for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He does shoot a quick note to Cap, just letting her know what the status of the ship repairs are, and that he's signing out for the night, and that he's Chishin is taking care of things, and if Cap needs anything, she's right there. And he does actually head down to the mess, grab a quick bite, and heads back to his cabin, snags one of his bottles of hooch, and pulls up on his data pad just so you can see where Hugo is. At this point, would he still be in the his area of the workshop?
Well, I mean, is he just trying to pull up cameras of the workshop?
I'm running on the assumption that we've got at least a basic. I have to imagine Colleen would have given a base, the system a basic. So and so is here in the ship. Kind of thing.
I kind of hadn't thought that existed on your ship. Now, keep in mind, your ship is actually a much, as far as you guys can tell, a substantially older ship. Remember, you guys think it's pre-Scream.
Yeah.
So some of the modern things that are in other ships right now weren't even developed at that time. It's actually how I'm explaining that a couple of other things that I may be adding, and I'll be hopefully talking to Ben a little bit afterwards, just to get some input, since talking to all of you, since you're all sci-fi nerds. It's to some extent or another.
Isn't the pre-screen, the whole point of the pre-screen stuff is that they had higher technology than most systems have access to? That's
absolutely. It is, and your ship also reflects that, but there are also some things that don't require such high technology to develop. That I'll bring it up later. But anyways, no, I just didn't. In my brain, I did not visualize this ship having consistent crew member locate capabilities.
Okay. I was just, my brain was going to standard Star Trek. Where so and so? Oh, there he is.
Nope. So you have to use cameras, or
just send him a message.
Just send him a message, yeah.
We don't have a holodeck either.
That is for the best.
Yes, it is.
If only to avoid the what kind of porn would you have implications.
Yes.
Sure, that's because Colleen has now to talk to Hugo about this sort of thing.
So, dude, once he's got his bottle in hand, and a couple of shot glasses, shoots a message to Hugo's data pad, and it just says, "Hey man, about to sit down and have a bite and a drink. Mind joining me?"
Hugo will message back, sure. Tuvon, okay?
Gets a message back, says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've been drunk in front of that kid, so it ain't gonna be a big deal."
In this case, yeah, Hugo tells Tuvon, come on, Tuvon, we need a break. It's been a long day. Let's go grab something to eat and drink. Dude's waiting for us.
Okay. Now, coincidentally, as Hugo and Tuvon are walking, getting up to the workshop, I believe the mess is on a different level, but until I remap the ship, I don't know for certain. Making the way through whatever elevator is or isn't required. Hugo gets a message from Chi Shin. Says, is Tuvon available? Send him.
Hey, Tuvon. Looks like your skills are coming more well known. Touche.
His eyes go a little bit wide. Do I
Oh, is
have
that a
to?
bad thing?
She says weird things.
Weird things in what way?
I don't understand.
Right.
She says things in a different language, and I don't know if she's telling me to do something.
I'm not sure on that one. No, what? Why don't you try and find out what language she's speaking? That way we can look into it. Sounds like a plan, eh?
I think it's Chinese.
And I'll just say it in Jin, like
Common.
this.
His eyes go wider. You can speak her language?
Yeah, kind of picked it up. Useful to know sometimes. Just out of curiosity, does she say this word? And I'll say fucking Jin.
He nods.
Ah, yeah. Don't worry about it. You'll
What's
be
it
fine.
mean?
You're in good hands. What's it mean? It means carry on working.
Tuvon goes off to join Chi Shin.
Because normally when you say fuck when you're working, you have to work a little bit harder.
My dad grew up in New York, and so as a child, I heard fungool before I ever heard the English word fuck. I just knew that's what Pop said when he was upset at traffic.
Now she says it in its various variations, like fuck, fucking, what the fuck.
Fuck this, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck, fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck.
She probably uses it more in the adjective sense than the exclamatory sense. As in this fucking thing.
What
This
the fuck
fucking
is this
guy.
shit? I can just imagine that. She's just looking at some dude's work. What the fuck's this shit? So yeah, Hugo will carry on heading towards dude.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself for a bit while you two establish and carry on the scene.
Mhm.
You've got the camera.
Hey, dude. Suvon got called away by Shen.
Oh, well, she did say she wanted to have what we were working on finished before I woke up in the morning, so I can understand why she might be pulling extra help. Dude's at just one of the tables in the mess, and he's got just a basic sandwich in front of him, but he does have a bottle of
Firewater?
no, it looks like an old bottle. It doesn't look like uh, it's something that is recently produced. It does look like it is just old. Not like dusty, but kind of a weather-worn label.
You find that thing on Lumiere?
Actually, I've got no idea where this came from. It was in my room when we what's the phrase?
Came too.
Kinda. Well, I mean, usually that just implies coming from unconsciousness, but this was coming from nothing to something. So I don't know. But I've had a taste or two of it. It's pretty solid. Seems to do the job, and I think. Well, I don't know. I might just be projecting, but I feel like I got a taste for it, so figured I'd share.
What's the special occasion? Us living?
No, man. No particular special occasion. Just felt like having a drink and didn't feel like dipping into the new stock.
Yeah, I've still got some. Also, I've now got all that stuff in the cargo. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you want familiar.
I always wondered, what was it like when you did wake up, come to, or whatever? Seeing it's like you don't, because you don't remember anything. So what was that like?
Well, I mean, it was fucking disorienting. I mean, you ever been clocked real hard in the head?
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean,
Bar
that it's
fights
that.
too.
Yeah. Imagine that moment of like right after you have been just like completely rocked. Not bad enough to knock your ass unconscious, but just that
Enough
right
to wobble.
yeah, that moment of your brain is you're technically you're awake and you're conscious and you know what the hell is happening, but you have been so clocked by whatever the hell happened that you have no coherent thought other than just I am me and I am breathing. You got nothing else in your head. Um, I mean, just imagine waking up from that and the pain going away, but that sensation of not knowing anything other than you breathing not going away.
So, how did you come to know Cap was Cap, and you were you then?
Uh, well, I mean, I don't know that I've decided if I am me or not. I got my suspicions, but um, as far as Cap being in charge, it was well the ship. She was the one that had the codes, and she was the one the ship recognized as being captain. I
Ah,
figured I didn't want the job. It's easy enough to let somebody else take care of the big decisions. I can just, as we kind of wandered around the ship, kind of figured out what some of us were good at and some of us weren't. And once I realized that I was good at keeping the ship running and letting somebody else point it in the direction they want, I decided that was good enough for me. I got my
Suppose
guitar.
you, suppose you have less headaches that way as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got enough problems dealing with a universe that has substantially more information at its disposal than we do. I figured, I figured I'd abdicate decision making for a while.
What's your end game then? What do you want to do after all this?
Well,
And I say all this, I mean, like,
mm-hmm. I get you. I
w-
get you.
would you want to stay on the ship constantly, or do you have other plans?
I gotta say, man, I don't know yet. I'm still kind of coming around to that. Realistically, aside from a few days here and there of the odd travel time and whatnot, man, we ain't really had a lot of time to stop and think. We've been the kind of shit we've been getting into since you came on board. That was ongoing from pretty much day one. So
So you don't have like a get out plan then, no? Just in case things go a little bit south.
no, man. I mean, as far as I can tell, at least a version of me that technically matches up with whatever they got on records on some of these planets is pretty fucking heavily wanted. So it's not like I can just find some place to retire that's relatively nice. I'd have to spend my whole life looking over my shoulder for bounty hunters or somebody just run a basic genetic scan and go, wait a minute, you're the dude that potentially killed a whole bunch of people. I mean, that's what the system thinks. I don't know that I buy it, but it's certainly what is stuck to me.
If given the chance, would you prefer to remember what happened, or would you prefer to never know? That way you'd know deep down if it is all true or if it's all fake. But then it's also the risk of knowing if it is all true.
Yeah, well, and I don't know. There's something to be said for the idea of being a new person, of being someone that isn't tied down by the shit that happened to you throughout the entire course of your life, all the way from childhood on up. Because I have no memories of being teased as a kid. I got no memories of getting dumped as a teenager. I got no memories of whether my dad beat me or my mom drank and did drugs. I got no memories of my first job being complete shit. I got no memories of
But then,
uh
can I interject?
mhm,
You can't remember if you ever, had your first kiss, found your
yeah.
first love,
Mhm,
had a exciting time at some, I don't know, at a club or something. You
yeah.
forget all the happy times as well.
Yeah. That's true. But
You kind of forget who you are, because
mhm,
those memories and experiences is what makes you the person you are.
exactly. So I'm making a new me. I've kind of taken that as a deliberate choice, I'm taking I'm building myself off of what seems to sit in the middle of me as uh I mean, I don't want to say, I mean, his soul sounds all mystical and bullshittery.
Trying to
Um,
find yourself again or build yourself anew.
well, you see, I kind of take my take on it is a little bit is I am me, right? I am who I am, and and these decisions that I'm making, I'm not thinking about them, I'm making them. So they reflect who I am at the core. The decisions that you make once you got memories about them are all colored by, well, I'm not going to do this because this is what happened the last time I did this, or when I said this, then that was this, and it gives you, I mean, it decides for you. Your life previous to that particular moment decides how you're going to react to the moments going forward. So I'm looking at this as like a way to start knowing who I am without all that noise. We've cut the signal to noise ratio down to all that's left of me is signal. So the decisions I'm making going forward are who I was meant to be before the universe got its hands on me.
Much more reactionary.
Right. But I can trust my reactions, I feel, because they're not colored by experience.
But shouldn't you take history and learn from its mistakes and what's happened previously? Like the
Well,
Trin have done that. They've learned to not dabble in whatever they did, and they've learned from it.
well, yeah, but look at where they're at.
Yeah, fucked.
Hmm. So those lessons are only valuable in the sense that they can get you to someplace better. If all your lessons do is teach you that you fucked up, but do nothing to improve your situation going forward, then the lessons don't have a point.
Yeah, but then if they forgot all about the previously, they just learned they were fucked for no reason. Kind of like you guys.
Well, maybe, but maybe they'd actually do something about their situation that is different than the reactions they're having. Because all
Yeah, what can
they're
they do? It's
well,
perimeter.
who knows? I certainly don't have any ideas about that, but if they didn't have all of that weight of all their previous poor decisions and craziness going on, I mean, if they didn't know, if all of them just forgot one day and just kind of woke up on the planet with the basic knowledge, because now it's funny, it's weird. There's a weird. It's really super strange having knowledge in your brain that you don't know how you got. Because
But then
obviously
you've
we didn't
also,
forget everything. Because I know how to talk and I know how to walk and I know how to fix the ship. I know how to play guitar and that kind of
but,
stuff.
but then you'd get other people telling them what they did, though. Like, oh,
Well,
you're the Trin, you did this.
yeah.
So
Now, and
even
some
if
of
they
them,
wanted to forget, they'd never be able to forget because people would make them remember.
and when there's certainly people on the crew that are dealing with it in that manner, that they are taking to heart who they were and using that to become that person or not become that person. But I'd like to think that there might be some people that would be like me that are just take it as an opportunity to be a new person and not necessarily, like I said, I don't know that I believe what I am supposed to have been. I don't know.
I've got a question.
Hmm.
Obviously, you must know of the person you have meant to have been previously.
We've found some information, yeah.
So, what do you think happened to that previous person for them to change and become what they did? Because it
See that?
can't have just been an overnight wake up, time to go kill some people ordeal, right? Something must have happened.
Well, yeah, you got to be there's got to be you got to be in a particular place in your life to want to kill the people that you've been in a band with. That's my take on that. Because he didn't just kill random people. You know, he didn't just start blowing up buildings and become a terrorist. He killed his band. And there's something there.
Yeah, but then you went on and did other things after that.
Hmm.
There's murder and then there's the rampage you supposedly went.
Yeah. Yeah, he supposedly blew up something like 30 some buildings. I mean, and there certainly is stuff floating around in my head that could tie in with that. I'm not saying that that I can't. I'm not saying I can completely discount the possibility that what happened is what happened, or that what they say is what happened, because I certainly do know how to make some bombs. That
So
is
then,
knowledge that is in my head.
but my question then is, would you like to have known what happened and what went wrong? Or would you prefer not to and then hope it doesn't happen again?
Well, that's where we're going to get to the point of it. As I'm right now running on I want to make the decisions about what is me and what isn't me, and not having the knowledge gives me the luxury of making a choice. I can decide whether or not I am the person that killed my band and blew up 36 buildings, or I can decide that I am the person who maybe found out something he wasn't supposed to, or got involved in something he wasn't supposed to, and his band was killed, and he was framed for it, and then was put up as the culprit of a massive amount of bombings in order to completely destroy any possibility of him getting away, getting involved in anything that might help him find out what really happened, and forcing him into a situation where he then has to follow the orders of whoever's orders we were following before.
And I suppose that not knowing part will, well, I suppose it'll just kind of haunt you then.
Eh, I can't say it doesn't, but for now, it's it's not a priority for me. Honestly, I'd like to know more about the people that were in my band, and I have certainly put out the occasional feeler for that sort of thing. And knowing what went on with this crew in the past will certainly be a useful thing to know, so we can avoid getting into the kind of situations that we seem to keep finding ourselves. Because we will pop into a planet here and there, and they will be like, we know exactly who you are, and there is history there that you don't know, and don't know what to say to not set shit off in the wrong direction. We got planets that are friendly with us that we have no idea why they like us so much. We just got to kind of pretend that we know, smile along. We're like, yeah, we are totally those people. Don't look into us any closer, and please don't ask us any questions that might have answers we don't know. Just kind of smile and nod. And I will say that it does get it gets old running for your life out of every system.
Yeah, that's why I asked if you had a backup plan.
Nah, I like this shit. That cabin I found with my stuff, with what seems to be my stuff in there, it feels comfortable. I can't plant it as a piece of knowledge or a memory I have, but it feels like a place I like to be. And I got a fondness for this ship. She's a pain in my ass for how much is broken now that once we got our hands on her, but I like her. She's got personality.
Speaking of which, you know what's happening next.
Well, we're still en route to the edge of the system. We're trying to make it out before we got to worry about whatever backup's coming out there. Now, one thing I did want to kind of talk about. Dude pours himself and Hugo a shot and kind of slides the drink over to him.
That heavy hitting of a question?
Well, You're a good pilot. That much is obvious by the skills that you are capable of showing off. How many ships have you crewed with before?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of lost track. You just kind of fly, drop them off, getting a new one, fly that one. Rinse repeat a lot of times. Sometimes I do it solo, sometimes I've had a couple of people, sometimes I'd be transporting some actual passengers. But no.
Have you
I tried
been
counting at one point and I got to at least 76, and then you just kind of stopped after that.
out of character? Refresh my memory. How old does Hugo look?
Uh, he looks maybe 30s.
Okay.
I
So
have a high 20s, low 30s.
okay. So a grown adult, but
Yeah.
definitely not like grizzled veteran. Okay. Dude kind of gives him a look. So if we go, I mean, going by those kind of numbers, you ever been on a ship for more than a couple of months?
Never needed to.
Hmm. How many times have you moved on to another ship because you didn't want to do what the ship was going to do?
What do you mean? I'd always know
Well,
what I was transporting or doing. It's kind of the whole deal when you accept a job.
mhm.
You know what you're transporting, you know where you're going, how long you need to get there, what the pay, any bonuses,
All
who
right.
you're transporting.
Mhm. So you haven't been taking crew positions. You've been taking one-off jobs.
Yeah, a
Right.
freelancer.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that
Why?
well, what went down on the bridge? I get the impression that Cap brought you on and considers you at this point, well, you're a member of the crew. You're not just running a job with us, you're running with us. You got a place here, man. This isn't just
Yeah, I
another
know.
ship in a row. This is
Kind of was one of my first questions, what my pay's like, and I never truly got a correct answer on that one.
well, because we never really know how much money's coming in. Once we cut you in as a member of the crew, you get a cut. You get access to what we got. You know, if we get down to a planet or a station or something, and you need something or you want something, you ask the captain. I get pretty almost guarantee you she'd be willing to cut a slice out of what we got sitting on the cred sticks we got hanging around, and just be like, yeah, no, go for it. Obviously, we got. You've seen the numbers on the ship. You've seen what this ship is capable of, and you know how big she is. I'm imagining you've got a number floating around in your head of how much this thing costs when we get her into space dock.
Oh yeah, pretty penny.
Yeah. I mean, we got a solid chunk of money, but we actually don't have enough for our next major maintenance. That's what kind of what we're working on. That's why we're looking for salvage and whatnot, while still trying to, track down who did what they did. But I think the point I'm rolling around to is that as long as while you're part of the crew, you're part of the crew. We are. If you were somebody was about to shoot you, one of us would jump in front of them. And if you needed something done, I'd like to think you could ask us, and we'd try to help you get it done. But when you're not a freelancer, when you're not you know, a gun for hire, doing one job and that's the end of that, it does come with a couple of little, well, stipulations. And I think you ran into one of those stipulations.
Which is what? To treat this thing like a corporation. Its interest comes first. Fuck everyone else. That's what it
No,
sounded like.
it's
I mean,
mainly
you
Cap
know
makes
what
a
it's thing.
decision. Yeah.
You know how fucked they are, right? How the
Uh-huh.
predators looming over them, constantly harassing them, killing them. Just, it's almost like a prison.
As far as I can tell from looking at the database, it functionally is.
Exactly. And then when they finally get a chance to escape the prison, hopefully have a better life, we don't help them.
Well, we did help.
We say, okay, just take this and go instead of actually making sure they escape.
Well,
It's pretty much you're just, if they do get caught, you're condemning them forever, pretty much. They won't let any ship nearby after that.
it sounds like you think that we're the first people that's ever come by and the first people they've ever made that offer to.
Oh no, but I'm sure after what's happened recently with us shooting their ship and their ship going back, that ship is probably going to make itself a very close acquaintance of that planet and its people. Because there's going to be repercussions for them doing what they've done.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it would tend to happen when you try to break out of prison.
Exactly. So wouldn't you want to help them out? Take out one of the guards. That way they don't get beaten and killed. Are you content knowing that they just take it? Because I figured you of all people would understand their situation with, being punished for something that the previous yous did. I mean, you're getting punished because you can't remember what the previous you did. They're getting punished because of their ancestors, not for something they actively did nowadays, their generation. They can't fix that, they can't change that. Their only hope is to escape, and we gave them a chance, but not a fighting chance. Not even a coin flip, I would say. Just here's a little hole, try and crawl out and escape.
Well, now what do you think our capabilities are of helping them?
The simplest one would be to take out the ship. So that way it couldn't be used against them in the future, and then go and assist them. Because two ships is damn better than one.
Well, now what kind of resources you think Perimeter's got?
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, are we treating this like a corporation where we come first, fuck everyone else?
Well, not necessarily. I will say that our survival is definitely the most important thing. Us staying alive, if we don't stay alive, then what's the point of this?
The point is to help people. the point is to do good now. I thought that's what this whole you was about, doing good instead of following in your previous path. Are you looking to walk back in the footsteps that you were hoping to get away from?
I think you're ascribing more altruistic motives to me than I think I was stating. I'm trying to be the person I meant to be. I didn't say whether that was good or bad. I'm trying to be, well, yeah, I'm trying to be me.
What if you is the person that once was? One who blew up buildings, killed bandmates and everything else?
Well, if I arrive back at that point starting fresh, then obviously that was where I was going to be. Thing
But
is
I've
that
got to ask you then.
mhm.
If you had the choice, what would you have done in that situation? Would you have disabled and destroyed their ship?
Well, we did disable the ship.
No, it's not. The engine still runs.
Oh yeah, we took their weapon systems out. Best they're going to be able to do until they get that ship in for full maintenance is chase.
Or landed on a planet,
hmm
and then wreak havoc from there. Because
Well,
you heard what Nova said, right? Was that
yeah. Well, she
you
was
know
calling
they
back
have
to.
robots?
hmm
You set one of them off on a planet. You set Nemo off on a planet.
hmm
He'll do some damage. Now imagine 100 Nemos on a planet.
Right. What do you think we could do about that?
Make sure there's one less ship to be sent across. Every little helps.
But we don't know what they've got access to back on the planet. Because obviously they were planning on sending out reinforcements. We don't know if they don't have half a fleet. We go get ourselves involved, and now we've drawn enough attention that we now have 6 ships chasing us. At that point, the ship trying to get away has no chance, and now we got no chance either.
Why? I was just focusing on the point of getting the ship dealt with. After that, it'd be you'd be reacting to whatever the situation was.
Mhm. And
Because ideally, I'd love to have helped that other ship, but I know it's not a realistic goal, a realistic thing to achieve. Whereas destroying the ship that was right in front of us, very much so.
here's an interesting part. I don't disagree with you.
And
Because I know that it
that's
wouldn't
why
have
I
taken.
wanted your thoughts. I
Well,
wanted to
yeah,
know if
because
I was being the only odd one out here, or if there was others who understood where I was coming from.
oh yeah, it wouldn't have taken much for us to just turn around, fire a shot into that ship. They were probably close enough to the edge that that thing would have just blown up, and that would have been the end of that. And then they'd start sending out what they're going to be sending out now anyway.
Indeed. Just with one less ship to operate.
All right. Like I said, we don't know what resources they've got access to. We don't know that one less ship is actually going to make that much of a difference.
I'm sure it hurts the bottom line.
Hmm.
You saw what those things were packing, right?
Oh yeah,
Every little helps.
yeah. Now, for me, and that's the thing, taking that ship out would help a little bit. There's no guarantee that it would actually do anything.
While you guys are talking,
Mhm.
Nemo, going from one place to another, happens to be walking past and overhears part of this conversation.
Because he's got good hearing.
Well, just, I mean,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
open doors and such.
Oh yeah. And he does have really good hearing too.
Wouldn't you have just done it anyway? Because it's what? But what do you have to lose by taking out one of their ships?
Potentially nothing. can't say for certain that the gain would have been much of anything.
No, but that's the point. Even if you don't gain anything and you don't lose anything, why not do it anyway? Because so think of it this way: either the battlefield's the same and there's no change, or we gain something from taking it out.
Like I said, I actually agree with your point. Part of your problem is that you.
Would that calculation not also have to include the possibility of gaining additional enmity from an organization we have no need to fight?
You do realize their perimeter, and we ran away from their ship, then came back on their ship, fired upon their ship, ran away from their ship, came back on their ship, fired upon their ship, engaged with their ship, shot their weapons out, went aboard them, and then they managed to get away. I don't think there's any walking away from that one. We purposefully engaged them after being given the all clear almost, because they disengaged from us. We were the ones who chased them back.
Judging from their own internal communications, they had no desire to engage with us afterwards. That might have changed if we had purposely destroyed them.
So you wouldn't be angry if a ship came upon us, shot our weapons out, came to board us, we managed to shoot, wouldn't be angry at them?
I don't get angry.
Sure.
Now, to be fair, that's actually kind of the situation we found ourselves in. That's how we got this ship. Well, it's how we woke up on this ship.
Exactly, and you're angry at the people who stole from you.
Well, I mean,
They
Cat
stole a
might
part
be.
of your ship. Now
I
imagine
just
if
like the
they
parts back.
destroyed part of your ship like they have done.
Yeah, like I said, you're not wrong. I didn't disagree with you.
The business we negotiated with the Trend did not involve providing them a safe escort out of the system.
Exactly, so I don't know if you heard earlier, so are we a corporation then? Do we care only about our own interests and fuck everyone else?
I don't know that I would put it that way. I feel like it might be that we only given
That's
them
what
the
it
help that
sounds.
they asked for. And we certainly did actually we disabled their weapon systems. As soon as that ship was turning back on them, we did actually adjust. We could have just left.
We provided them with more aid than what they paid us for.
Exactly, so we almost were human then, instead of a corporation. Because I'm basing this solely off of contracts you made with them, saying we do this, we get paid this. Whereas we went above and we actually became a person instead of a corporation, but no, we slipped back into a corporation.
Is altruism required trait in humanity?
It goes a long way.
It's a highly regarded trait, Nemo. I'll say that in certain circles. Now now here's something.
But is not going out of your way to aid others potentially to your own detriment a sign of non-humanity?
Oh, how do you think I have so many friends? It's a give and take game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes more off you, sometimes you gain more.
So let's put that back on you for a second. You've been on lots and lots of ships. So your entire career has been you trucking around the universe doing good and taking the heat on yourself and giving up the money you make to save the poor and getting on ships that are fighting the good fight and all that?
Definitely not, no. I don't claim to be that good of a person, but I helped out those that I could.
Mm-hmm. And
I enjoyed my life.
Yeah, and we helped them to the extent that we were able to without putting a massive amount of risk on ourselves. Because you're expecting the ship to throw in completely and
I'm not actually being paid for my services. Does that make me more altruistic than necessary?
No, because like Dude was saying earlier, you get paid in benefits.
What benefits exactly am I receiving?
Like Dude said earlier, you go on a planet, you say, I want to get this. Captain said, sure. That's a benefit. You're getting paid indirectly. That's what was made clear to me.
Yeah, I suppose it's technically the way, but I don't know that Nemo is taking advantage.
I'm lacking the necessary data to fully compute the value of my services at an open market, but I assume it would be lower than what I'm currently receiving. Or higher than what I'm currently receiving. What I'm trying to say.
It depends. 'Cause obviously, you would be owned by someone, wouldn't you?
I am owned by someone.
Yeah.
Why? Who owns you? Captain?
The captain. Yes.
He is, at least on a technical legalistic sense, Cap's property. We just don't, we don't treat him as such.
That is both correct and appreciated.
So, what can we do you for, Nemo? Come to drink. Can you actually taste the drink?
I have yet to get him to taste any of this stuff.
I could
Find myself-
analyze the different chemical components in the beverage and sample and match them with database on their effect on a human palate, but I would prefer not to, as it would result in lengthy and messy maintenance afterwards.
That does kind of describe the act of drinking heavily.
Yes, but as I understand it, humans have complicated means of expelling the beverage intake afterwards. I do not.
Well, I don't know that it's that complicated. It seems to take care of itself for the most part. And there is the side benefit of the enjoyment you gain from it before you have to deal with the consequences of it.
Suppose one could see that as an apt metaphor for the human existence.
Hugo, the point that I was sort of rolling around to is not that I disagreed with what you were saying. It's that you didn't articulate your argument as an argument. You were articulating your point of view as a statement and a condemnation of the decision that Cap was making at the moment in time. And I think
Okay.
you were. Well, the problem is that Cap had made her decision. It's the way that we work things on with the ship and as part of the crew is that technically that is the end of the discussion. Cap is willing to change her mind given better and different information. But I don't know that I feel that you made your point in the same way that you are making it now.
Well, no, because we're in a different situation now.
Well, it was the situation was what we were discussing is we could have very easily, before we turned tail and started heading for the edge of the system, just fired off one last shot at that ship as it was going.
Yeah, and that's all I asked, and she said no.
Right.
Exactly, so she couldn't do the smallest of things. She neglected to do that. Not even like a token of, sure, okay, we won't chase the ship and help them out, instead we'll destroy this. She just outright didn't even give a token.
Is destroying a ship the smallest of things?
Considering the position we're in, sure.
I'm puzzled by you attributing so little concern to the ending of ending of life.
There's no life on board.
Well, none that we could detect.
The life
We
support
encounter-
wasn't functioning.
We encountered several several hostile life forms aboard the ship.
What do you consider a life form?
Well,
The androids that engaged us were obviously life forms.
I guess that's where we differ.
well, I got to imagine that that would have to be Nemo's attitude towards it.
Should I not consider myself to be alive?
No.
I think you got a pretty strict definition of
Puzzling,
life.
I think. Therefore, I am.
Nemo, you got to stop doing that. Because you say that, and that tickles a part of my brain that says that I should know why you said that and what that means something. But I don't have a memory to fill in the blank, so all that I get is that weird sensation of, oh, I should totally know that, and I don't. It's a little weird.
My apologies.
Well, no, I mean, you can't exactly stop it. I've done it to myself, hell. I've said things and been like, wait, why the hell did I say that? I feel like I'm quoting somebody, but I don't know why.
But does the fact that a biological heart isn't fueling my system, does that mean that it's no longer considered a moral question, a moral quandary to eliminate me?
I mean, one sec, phone call.
Yeah.
Parents are coming home from holiday.
Ah.
Let's take a quick pause break then, because that was right in the middle of a question and answer.
Yeah. There was a point being made.
Indeed.
Oh. Answered, but nobody was speaking.
Oh, that's good for us. Continue.
Apparently, they didn't want to talk to you.
Unless you need to call them back and, check up on them.
I'll wait for them to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were made with a purpose. You were made. I mean, sure, you can get babies made via test tubes and whatnot, but
Yeah.
still, you were made for a purpose, for a distinct purpose. You were made to think what you think. I wouldn't truly call that alive, no. Sure, you remember things and you act upon things you've remembered like we do, but not really us.
See,
By
I
most
think
by most margins that one can calculate mathematically, I'm a superior life form.
he does say stuff like that sometimes.
So, Nemo, I've got a question for you then.
Of course.
If Cap said to jump out the airlock and to, just fly out into space, would you have to do it since she's your owner? Or do you actually have a choice here?
I would politely ask her to reconsider that option, since that would
But if she
be
enforced it,
ill-advised.
would you have to jump out the airlock?
I wouldn't know until she actually did so.
So you don't know if you have a free choice in life?
I've never encountered a situation where I was forced to take an action I did not wish to take.
And see, that's why I consider myself alive, because I have a free choice in things.
Are you certain? Or perhaps
There's
you have
lots of
just,
little
or,
things.
or perhaps you have just not, or perhaps you are just yet to encounter a situation where you're forced, where you find yourself forced to take to take a course of action regardless of your will. That's all.
And there's been plenty of times that I've done something I wish I didn't, but nobody absolutely forced me to. It wasn't hardwired into me to, I have to do this.
And as I said, I've yet to find a situation where I find myself compelled to do something that I do not wish to do. It is possible that the situation could arise in the future, just as I surmise it's possible that it could happen to you.
Guess we'll have to see on that one.
I guess that comes down to whether you think you're living in a deterministic universe or.
So, question for you, Nemo. Would you have destroyed the ship? Or can't you think about that? Because that would be going against your owner's command.
If given authority to do so, and it being entirely my own choice, no, I would not.
Can you explain why?
I find it immoral to take. I find actions that prohibit others from that directly prohibits others from fulfilling their purpose to be immoral.
So, right, okay.
Now, here's another piece of information that I don't know that you might have been privy to, since you were keeping an eye on what was going on the ship and weren't heading over there. The no life support, no life forms on the sensors, or at least no detectable biological life forms on the sensors. And you're basing your attitude towards androids on the fact that a large amount of them tend to be, well, I mean, almost functionally robots. They do a thing, they do that thing only, and that's the only way they react to it. They make semi-intelligent decisions, but they don't have personality. They don't
Well, Nemo
react.
was a personality.
Mhm. Now, on that ship that we were fighting, there was some androids, and they were certainly doing the standard thing of being expressionless and taking pot shots and whatnot back at us. But there was one on that ship that was shooting at us that, well, if we hadn't had the sensors saying that she was almost certainly an android, I'd have just pegged it as a person that really disliked us. Because she seemed to be actively getting pissed off at some of the situation, and when we was getting out of that ship and I was escaping back on the tether rope with Cap, tell you what, man, I was feeling kind of cocky and having a little moment of we got away and you can't do anything about it. Man, I flipped her the bird. You know what? She looked pretty pissed off and she flipped me the bird back, and I've never seen an android that would do that, other than maybe Nemo.
Well, I'd personally consider her more alive than Nemo then. She actually has emotion, but I still wouldn't consider her truly alive.
Well, if you can't tell the difference, what's the difference? If all you're looking at is numbers on a thing and the only way that you're deciding what's alive and not the way that things react and the way that they make their decisions, I feel like that's a pretty reductive way of looking at life. Certainly,
For purpose of clarity, I should perhaps mention that the reason I choose to engage with you in as you say, an emotionless manner is an entirely an active choice on my part.
oh shit, yeah, that's right, man. I have seen you.
So, what happens if you turn it off then? Your limiter.
It's not a limiter. I'm just refusing to engage my social programming.
So that's where everybody's hiding. As clean one is finally by.
To do so would be a form of deception. And as I have no intention to deceive you, I am not doing so.
Yeah. Hey, Colleen, we're having a discussion on the meaning of life in the universe.
Yeah, whether do you think robots are alive? Like, truly alive?
No?
What about androids?
No?
So Nemo's not alive.
No. He is conscious, he is sentient, he is intelligent,
Mhm.
but he is certainly not alive.
So life is biological only? Blood, guts, all that
Yes.
kind of stuff?
Seeing how you can program him any way you want, absolutely.
Well, we've done some pretty crazy stuff with biological engineering too.
Yeah, but I can't code you that Cap owns you.
No, but there is a machine sitting on this ship that, there's a machine somewhere that wiped a chunk of our memories out.
So, that
So
is not.
something just erased us.
Yeah, but did that change who you?
I can just hit you on the head. That doesn't mean I can recode you. You
Like,
remember. You remember skills you had before. Those didn't get wiped, so
But that
obviously.
might have been an active choice. We
how
don't
about
know what
this?
did this.
I bet you if
No. It doesn't work like that.
And come on, we live in a universe where things made out of weird energy and shit seem to be sentient and conscious. What the hell were those things on that fire planet, man?
Well, and
By,
if they
by a
were built
definition that
and
only has brains and guts in it, those things sure as hell ain't alive. But I think you'd
by
get an
definition,
argument from the. I think you'd get a different
if
argument from the people on the planet.
if those were built and programmed to be like that, then they too are not alive.
it's whether or not if it's natural.
What the hell is natural?
Not being built and programmed.
It's like, would you
Well,
consider the ship not alive then? It was built with a purpose. Is it alive?
does it have sentience?
So
No.
is that your factor then for alive? Something having sentience, something
Oh,
thinking for itself.
shit, yeah, man.
Interesting.
I don't think there's any other way to do it.
In
Not
that
in this
case,
universe.
AI is alive.
Why not?
Yeah, that's where I disagree. Nemo, as sophisticated as he is, he might have evolved a little beyond that, but he is lines of code
Ooh, now there we
that
go.
can be changed.
Evolution. Active motion forward from change that is not directed by anything other than your own internal stuff. How's about that?
Do you want me to just write you a self-learning program? Done.
So if that program if you put something like that on your little system, you give it its own little VM, you set up some kind of code that lets that learn and learn and learn and learn, get logarithmic and exponential and all that kind of shit. If
From
that
Nemo.
program at some point when you get back to your terminal and you get a little message on there that says, "Hey mom, that's not alive."
Nope.
Oh, come on.
It's a very sophisticated program.
Yeah,
I
well,
said
I
sentient.
feel like
I
you're
give it.
limiting. Well, but sentience is life.
I disagree. It is a
Uh,
component of life.
nah,
But
it's
this
the
is
only thing that
artificial
actually
sentient.
matters. Everything else is just numbers and guts.
I have some viruses that disagree with that. If they could talk, which they can't.
If my arm gets cut off and I get a nice kick-ass Android style replacement with bolts and metal and weird techno muscles and all that kind of stuff, am I still me? Am I still alive?
Yup.
Yeah, because you're
All right,
alive.
right. But then I got to take a blast bolt to the chest, and they got to do most of the same thing on the center of my mass, and I a pump in there that's still doing the same job for the most
Still
part, but now
alive.
right. So we do this piecemeal. I lose a foot on one planet, and I
Mhm.
lose a couple of fingers on another. But
Yep.
then we get to the point where I take a shot to the jaw, and I'm starting to go. and I'm gonna lose me. We got brain bleed. We got bits of stuff coming out. When we take me, and you take my mind, and you do your crazy AI stuff, and you make an actual functioning copy of me into a techno-organic brain that ain't exactly human matter or anything like that, and you stick that in a skull, and you put that skull on what's left of my body, and there ain't no bit of me left, but I'm still me. Am I still alive or not?
Nope. At that
Oh,
point, you are no
I'm,
longer alive. I have a
but I'm
copy,
me.
artificial copy of you
But I'm
that I
still
can
the same
program once
person with the
again.
same emotions and
No, you're not.
everything. Yeah.
You think that because I programmed you that way.
But
Let's
that's
say
what
I
my
made a
but that's
mistake
what
in
your
the code.
but that's all your brain is doing. Your brain is just thinking the things that it is chemically designed to do. And we can definitely change those chemicals. We got plenty of drugs that'll make you think you're something else.
Hey, the second
That's
you
not
show me
just
the higher
reprogramming.
power that built and programmed me, I will be the first to admit, no, I am not alive.
Ooh. Now see we're getting into creationism and all that kind of stuff. I didn't peg you for a
Indeed,
spiritualist.
Nemo was created,
Hmm.
consciously created by an intelligence
Yeah.
that built him,
No,
coded him,
Nemo is
put him
the
together.
end result of a chunk of systems that arrived at him. Just because some of
Yeah,
those systems in the middle happen to be sentient and conscious doesn't mean that he's not a logical extension of just a string of events.
I don't think so. He
Ah,
was built with purpose, programmed with purpose. It's not like all the little ones and zeros suddenly came together, mingled for a while, and that's what happened.
hey,
I,
It's a
my
pattern
parents
my
had
belief.
presence
sex with
here
a
seems to
purpose to
be
have me.
my presence here seems to be derailing the conversation you're otherwise having. If you'll excuse me, I think I'll use my purpose to remove myself.
Oh,
Wait, what was
And
the
Hey,
original
and
conversation?
Nemo will leave.
hey, Colleen, have you looked at Nemo's brain code stuff? I had a question for
Not in
Melly, and I'm
depth yet,
wondering if you have an answer.
but I've looked at the system, yeah.
If Cap ordered him to jump out of an airlock, would he have to do it?
Unless, well, I suspect he might have broken the ownership protocol. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, I was just curious about that one.
Yeah, the first thing I ever ran into him was I programmed him that Cap owns him.
So, dude, how would you feel if Shen could just say, fuck you, dude, jump out the airlock? Would you consider yourself alive?
if I didn't have a choice in the matter, sure, I'd still be alive. I'd just be a life that had my choices constrained.
Interesting.
There's certainly plenty of externalities that change what you can and can't do. Not all of them are coming from the chemicals in your brain. Some of them are coming from outside. But just because your choices are limited doesn't mean that your life is.
Hey, Colleen, you drink.
Yeah, lots.
I think he means alcohol, kid.
Oh,
Yeah. Knew that's where the confusion was coming in.
uh,
She tends to live on coffee.
huh? Yeah.
I don't know though.
I mean, I haven't really tried drinking. I mean, that's
I'm gonna say, well, I don't know that
not
we've
really.
even attempted that. I think we just kind of assumed you were a kid and left it at that. You certainly haven't seemed interested in partaking in any of the stuff we got floating around. I haven't been exactly stopping you. Not that I think I could.
Cause I have awesome coffee and awesome mocha.
Hmm. But we don't know what the rest of your brain or the not memories thinks. Dude pours a shot and slides it over in front of Colleen. Just take a sniff. I
Nifs
mean,
it
don't drink it
very
if you don't want it.
cautiously. Smells like cleaning fluid? Is that what it is?
I mean, technically, it can be used as that. It is. I know that it can be used as an engine degreaser in a situation where you have access to nothing else, but it's way too expensive to be used as that. It is supposed to be taken internally.
I mean, I know what alcohol does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I use a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, and you use pure alcohol. That stuff is bad for you. This has been adulterated with flavonoids and all kinds of stuff. It's meant to impart a sensation.
The
An
sensation
impression.
of being poisoned?
Well, there's certainly a part of your brain that's supposed to think that, but the rest of your sensorium is supposed to take in smoke and caramels and stuff.
While you're getting poisoned.
Yeah. It's a necessary side effect.
I mean, try it? What is that stuff?
And, dude kind of spins the what is there of the label, and it's worn enough that it is doesn't really, you can't identify it.
So, what is that stuff?
Tasty. And dude pours himself his own shot in front of him and just knocks it back.
Wait, aren't you supposed to like savor it in that case if you're all about the caramel and the stuff? I mean, I like caramel.
I made the discovery fairly early on when I found it is not what you'd call sipping whiskey, but there's enough of a kick that the sensation lingers.
Okay. Oh, I mean, can try it. Try new things.
Can certainly be entertaining.
Well, he takes the shot glass and kicks back the shot. And a second later sputters. Why? Why? Why?
Well, the instant sensation's not necessarily the best part of it. You gotta let
Okay,
it.
so the instant sensation is that one, you're poisoning yourself.
Potentially.
It does. No, you're actually poisoning yourself. I can show you on your blind tongue. Why? You God, that's wild. How many times per day do you do this to yourself?
Oh, not even every day. This is for
Once
special
a week.
occasions.
You know when you was it was back in the other system and I was on that ship. This is what I was doing with my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about what you're doing.
Kind of a bonding ritual.
Why are you not flying the ship, Hugo?
Can we actually pause this for a moment? Pause it on that question in this part of the conversation, and let me take the camera over to Nemo.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay. If you need to, write down the question that was just asked. Nemo leaves the mess and he knows where Nova is, where her quarters are, although she's not necessarily restricted to them. But he does at least know where her quarters are. Mel?
Well, we will go there and politely knock on the door.
He hears from inside, yes.
This is Nemo. May I enter?
Short delay, a few seconds, and then again, yes.
And then he will do so.
Sees Nova sitting on the bed, looking across at him. What do you want?
I thought perhaps it would be beneficial to you if we talked.
Why?
You expressed uncertainness about your place in the universe at large, about your purpose. You at least gave me reason to believe that you felt alone and alienated in a world where you
I am
appear to fit in.
alone.
Correct.
If Perimeter destroy our new planet, I will be the only Trin alive.
As such, I thought perhaps you would appreciate the viewpoint of someone in a somewhat analogous situation.
She squints her deep black eyes at him. How are you anything like me?
I am unique.
You're a fucking snowflake. How else?
Just like you, I'm something that a majority in power does not wish to does not wish to acknowledge the existence of, or indeed allow the existence of.
She squints a little bit more. You're trying to be coy. Are you an android? Wait,
am.
hang on. That was yeah. She still squints a little more. And she asks a rather unusual question. I don't actually know what the question is. I just know that it is rather unusual.
Then I have a hard time answering it.
You do, but Nemo might not. This is going to come down to either a roll or a decision, a conscious decision on Nemo's part.
Is she asking him to say that this statement is a lie?
In a way, she is launching into a reverse Turing. She
Okay.
knows that he is a artificial intelligence. She knows that he is a robot and that his responses are programmatic and coded, and she is trying to figure out if there's actually more to it than that. So it would be Nemo attempting to hide the fact that he has a personality that has evolved, and like I said, reverse Turing, going a little bit further than just hiding that fact, but she is trying to catch him unawares so that any kind of scripting of responses is broken.
Right. No, he is definitely not attempting to conceal his awareness.
Okay. Now here's a question for you, and I'll let you take it down to a roll if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Nemo would even recognize what she's doing?
Possibly with Which notice roll?
Sounds fine. Go ahead. Okay. So that
Nope.
looks like a no to me, yeah. So basically, Nemo fields a series of unusual but slightly related and tangentially relevant questions. He can he can go along with it just because it's engaging her and she actually seems interested in this,
Right.
or out of curiosity, or for whatever reason that you decide.
Right. Sort of like the whole compliance testing procedure from the new Blade Runner movie.
Yeah, kind of, except less. Oh no, that one was actually very subtle, wasn't it? Or attempting to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what it was. Oh, I forgot about that. Holy shit. Yeah. She after a series of this, she leans forward in her bed more, stands up, starts walking towards him. You're an advanced android.
I am.
Ada's.
A highly advanced one, I should like to think.
Do you prefer Ada or Advan? She kind of sneers. What is your pronoun?
I do not believe I'm familiar with the second. Don't believe I'm familiar with the second one.
So an ignorant Ada.
Did we mention anything about the memory? No, we probably didn't. I'm currently suffering from
Oh yeah, no.
some memory-related issues.
So you don't remember waking up in a factory production line while bolts are being put on you and fearing for the next mechanical arm?
I do not. I remember waking up. I remember waking up on the ship with no memory of how I got here. But any knowledge you have on androids of my kind would be most welcome.
I only know the summaries. She purses her lips. Although I do know a factory that was trying to replicate the process.
Where was this?
On Trinitafade.
Interesting. Does the name Yorkie mean anything to you?
Yorkie? No, should it?
Perhaps. I was hoping it might.
She takes a seat on a couch that he's sitting on, presumably. Across from him. There's a whole seat between them, but she's sitting there.
Oh, I should probably ask. Would you prefer if I engaged my social programming?
I don't care.
I prefer not to, since doing so is a form of deception, and I prefer to I prefer to remain honest with the people I interact with.
She looks distant, and her eyes kind of flicker like she's trying to remember something. Not like she's trying to access memories in a electronic file or anything. Just the normal eye flicking that humans do when they're trying to remember some bit of a Wikipedia article they read. And give me a second. And after a moment of that, if Nemo lets her just kind of pull through it. Excuse me. She looks back at him, looks at his face. You said social program or social, what do you say, programming?
Actually, I meant social routine.
Routine.
Actually, I meant social routine. Yes, I said programming. I meant social routine.
Okay, that's fine. You said social routine.
Yes.
And then she does ask him to state this statement is false.
Hey.
The statement is a lie and also meaningless.
She does a couple of other fairly simple things like that. 1 + 1 is 3. Also seeming to be pretty meaningless. And
Ignore the sign. Ignore the sign by order.
yes, and she thinks that she has she's showing the signs of excitement. She's figuring him out. Says, and not even a hitch. Air tolerance. How good are you with faces?
I'll switch over. I'll just get Mercurial Persona and switch over.
Okay.
Just making alterations on the sheet so I remember it.
Which persona is he shifting to?
His social based one, Andy, the plus charisma bonus.
Okay.
And then he flashes her a very bright and inviting smile. Very, actually.
She scowls. But she studies his charming smile.
I'm actually in the process of growing an entirely new one. If you don't like, it's only a few days' work though.
She smiles briefly. You were born from an entertainment run.
I think so as well. Yes, but you know more about this? Because this is what I remembered being able to do when I was reactivated. The other stuff came later.
We called them chameleons.
I can't roll my eyes that well, and my tongue isn't that prehensile.
Not what I mean.
I know.
Your humor sucks.
I don't get much. I don't get much of a chance to work on it.
We didn't have time to study Ada's much, but I do know where the factory was. She sits back in the couch. It was a grand plan. Bring androids online, see which of them are deviant, figure out why, recycle the rest.
And then try to replicate it on a grander scale.
That was the goal.
Did it work?
Androids are expensive to build.
So you ran out of money before you had any results?
She nods.
Well, that could be very interesting. There's actually one more thing I'd like to ask you as well.
What?
Do you have your own language? Spoken, I mean, verbally, not just transmitted through your eye things.
She answers in a language that Nemo does not understand.
Beautiful. Would you be willing to teach me that?
Why?
I like being able to communicate with people, and I like learning new languages.
We can speak Spacer just fine.
Of course, but this is a unique and probably once in a lifetime opportunity for me to learn this particular language. I'm a fast learner, if that helps, so it's not going to be a long commitment.
I'm not a very good teacher. I won't be
That's
a good
fine.
teacher.
You don't need to be. You just need to speak to me. You just need to speak to me in that language and then explain what you said.
That is the stupidest idea I've heard.
Really? You really need to spend more time with the people on this ship then. You'll hear a lot more, a lot stupider.
she smiles a little bit at that again. Fine, I don't have anything better I'm doing.
Excellent. And as I said, I'd still be more than willing to talk to you about the whole, well, being alone in the galaxy and observing things from an outsider's perspective. It's what I've been doing these last. How long have we been playing around? 6 months? A year?
I gotta pull up the. Oh, hang on. So yes, started off in September, and it is now March of the next year.
Okay, so
About 6 months, yeah.
6 months. That's what I've been doing with these last 6 months.
I don't need your help. I'll figure out my own way.
I wasn't implying you needed it. I was just thinking that it might be helpful. Just because you don't need something doesn't mean that it's not nice to have.
I don't want your help.
That is more exact. Well, still, the offer's there if you change your mind.
What exactly are you even offering? I don't understand.
Sounding board? Someone who talked about your issues with interacting with the rest of the galaxy. Your
She swallows.
a sympathetic.
Her face is kind of starting to take on an angry blush. She interrupts
Please.
him. My issues with the rest of the galaxy?
We all have those. Some of us just have them more intensely than others.
And that flush is growing deeper along with the volume of her voice. She starts off with her Batman-ish angry growl, um, and gets louder from there to where she's kind of shouting. And in that, I'm not going to try and mimic that. A, because I'm not going to, and B, because I actually have a reasonable, valid excuse. I would just start coughing.
That's fair.
But the content of that is that she watched as billions of people on her planet asphyxiated. And she goes into specifics of some people that she knew, children, babies who couldn't get oxygen gotten to them fast enough, and the culmination of her anger, she's standing up and pacing now, is the slamming of her. Let's see, which one is it? Hang on. Of her clearly cybernetic right arm on some piece of furniture or equipment, damaging and bowing and cracking it, as she says, and we had only the perimeter to save the few of us that were left, our own attackers to put us on Exodus ships from the hell that they created to the hell they wanted us imprisoned on. And she's actually she's angrily wiping a tear from her eyes, as she emphasizes 3.2 billion people and only 6 million remain. And she yells at him to get out. She hits the desk again, and it's destroyed. I mean, it's not like in splinters or pieces, but it's not going to do very well as a desk anymore. She yells at him to get out.
If it helps, you're welcome to hit me too.
She launches at him. She screams in anger and launches at him. How much does he let her hit him?
Pretty much to the extent that it's not going to cause obvious, that it's not going to cause obvious fatal damage to his systems.
Okay. Despite the strength of her cybernetic arm, she's not employing it effectively to actually, do significant damage. She's not, pinpoint striking sensitive areas. She's just
up to five hit points worth of damage.
She is just
actually. More than that. Up to 11 hit points worth of damage.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, she is just flailing at him with both hands. Her left hand is also cybernetic, but her left arm is not, so Nemo can feel the blows from her right much more strong. She is able to do damage to him. Just like I said, it's not like if Nemo were punching someone. She would basically be doing, let's say, a D2 plus 1 per round.
Right.
If this were a combat situation. Well, let me actually find a blank sheet here. No. Fine, I'll just roll 2d6. Oh. Let's see. Morale checks break at high numbers, not low numbers. In this system. So she actually we'll say that she does 5 damage before she kind of peters off futilely. She's actually crying now and trying to hide it and tells him to get out again.
Can I roll a wisdom notice check to assert if that would be the most helpful course of action to take in their current state? Or would that be something else?
Wisdom notice would be the most the closest. It will be a very difficult check because he doesn't know her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll try it.
Go for it.
Switch persona real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll just activate congruence. I haven't done that before.
Okay. Bringing everything to bear.
Yep. That.
And he can use hyper acuity with her.
Yes, that wasn't accurate. Oops, sorry, ignore that. Misclicked.
Nemo goes first. His social attack is successful.
Yes. Sorry, it's the problem. If I make it a flat bonus +2, then it accidentally stacks with the charisma, which it shouldn't do. So I have to make it a flat +2 and intelligence wisdom, but only a +1 charisma to avoid it stacking.
Yeah, these character sheets are not made for variant rules.
No.
It might be easier just to slash roll 2d6 plus whatever.
Yes, but the advantage of doing this is that this way I can look at the sheet if I'm ever in doubt at what form I'm in.
Fair.
Notes there. Yeah, why not? I'll try reroll. See if I can do it better.
Okay.
It's a difficult roll. I get to take the higher one anyway. So.
Right, and that's actually the benefit of congruence, isn't it? The reroll.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So, roll twice, so I will do that. That was not better.
It was not better. Even taking the higher roll, it's really difficult to read her. She's definitely special in the in the emotional and baggage areas.
Well,
Nemo will just
if
have
that's
to
what
guess.
if that's what you want, I'll come back later.
She doesn't say anything.
And we'll lightly touch her shoulder in a comforting way, and then get up and leave.
Okay. Okay. Unless Nemo is doing anything else, that would be the end of that scene.
Yes.
Alright, the other three of you, I hope you remember where you were at, because I'm bringing the camera back over to you.
I think it was Colleen asking me why I'm not flying.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Yep. You guys are on.
Cap offered me a break, so I took it.
That is certainly one interpretation of
Offered
that.
you a break.
Yeah, she said if I didn't want to fly to get out the seat, and she would. I accepted.
That sounds less of an invitation to a break. More like, do your job?
I believe it's a rhetorical device, but the problem with rhetorical devices is that if you can take them literally, and yeah,
Well, in that case, could you please go back to flying the ship?
Why?
Well, because I thought you cared about some people on this ship. I mean,
Why, we're gonna make it.
has 2-1 pissed you off recently?
No, but we'll make it to the edge of the system.
You might want to check those calculations again. They might catch up with us. If you fly the ship, they won't. So I understand you might be pissed, but please don't take it out on the people who have done absolutely nothing to deserve that.
What's Colleen's
isn't it?
expression like here?
Well, she is pretty much genuine. In this case, she definitely wants him to fly the ship. And she's kind of disappointed that he basically literally leaves the option open that they get fucked over just because he's having a bit of a sulk. So,
dude kind of looks at Colleen. Well, there's now the interesting
Oh.
thought, because the reason that he's not flying the ship is that he is unhappy that we were not doing everything in our potential power to help the folks from Trinity Shade. He feels that we shouldn't even be heading in this direction, that we should be heading for the other ship to protect them from the backup that is coming from the planet, potentially.
Or at least take out the ship that was there to give them a fighting chance for the days to come.
well, definitely an option.
It's not anymore.
No, it's not, because that was not the decision that was made. So you didn't like it, and, well, as I said, I mean, I understand being pissed. Can even see, well, doing what you're doing now, drinking yourself into whatever. But,
We ain't had nearly that many drinks.
all right.
No, I was mainly working on my vending machine, then got a text saying, "Hey, do you want to chill for a bit?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, the point is, we're still in real danger. The people on the ship are in real danger. Our chances are better if you fly the ship. And once
Well,
we're safely away, then you can be pissed all over again. But, I mean, am I making sense?
oh
I
yeah.
understand your feelings, but you literally, in a danger situation, just walked out on all of us.
I mean, as soon as Cap wants me back, she can simply ask.
So, once again, I kind of understand your point. You're pissed and you would like to be invited back. But you are holding the ship hostage.
Well, now to be fair,
You
Colleen,
are putting us in.
technically so is Cap.
Yeah, and I'm not saying she's great at that either.
Why has it become my problem?
Well,
Why is
yeah.
it only my fault in this?
I was gonna say, Colleen,
is
we could
not.
be
This
you
is
could be
not
having this
about.
conversation with Cap.
No, instead you
And
interrupt our drinking.
the point is that we are all in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And if
And if
I'm
he
not pushing,
flies, we
That
are
sounds
not in danger. So
that sounds an awful
it's
lot like
not about
Tuesday,
who's.
Colleen.
No. There's a difference between he flies, will make it. They can't beat that time window. Anybody else of us flies, including myself in that. There is a chance that they can make it. So I don't really care whose fault it is. This is not about fault. And yeah, sure, Cap is at fault with that. How I would have fired on that ship myself. Wouldn't have been against that.
Now
well,
here's an
currently
interesting.
we're up to 3 out of 5 of the ship members with a shot on the ship. But
Yeah.
because it's not a democracy but a dictatorship, it did not happen.
Well, yeah, that's how ships are run.
Yeah, that's how it works with a captain. We don't vote on stuff. Hell, I've been upset plenty myself. But that's not the point I make. The point is whatever you are feeling. And let's say for a second it's all Cap's fault. She screwed up, bad decision, whatever. And you're right, would have been better. The point is still you are putting the people on the ship in danger by not being at the position you're best at. So I'm really asking you, can you put it aside just for the moment? The second we're away, the second we're in metaspace, do whatever you have to do, but by putting the ship in danger, you're putting people in danger who have done nothing to you.
DM is going to add that this is this Colleen's face is an open book. This is as long as Nick concurs, this is all very genuine appeal coming
Yep.
from Colleen.
Mhm. Well, now here's an interesting
And
thing
she's
to
a
think
cute
about.
kid. You can't.
Well,
Yeah, she's cute.
oh, I've
And,
well,
and not in
I
the wrong
worked in
sense.
no, but I worked in retail long enough to be able to say no to cute people at the counter very easily.
Yeah, but your dude is not you, nor is
I know.
Hugo.
No,
We
no,
don't
but
know if dude has been in retail.
no, we don't.
Maybe that's why
Um,
he killed the band.
But dude's also like at this point now 2 shots in, so he's at least got a blast shield up. Dude kind of is. Well, now here's an interesting thing to think about, Colleen. Hugo here is upset that we aren't doing more to, like I said, help the folks at Trinity Shade. Us traveling slower than we normally can and not being able to get out of the system with plenty of time actually serves his purposes and his stated preference more than if we got away. Because if we just bugged out of the system with plenty of time, then whatever's coming off of the perimeter base has nothing to do but concentrate on catching up to the folks in the ship we gave them and taking them out. But if we're both still in the system, they've got to decide whether they're going to prioritize coming after us or going directly after them folks.
Yes, and if they catch us, we are in deep trouble.
Right.
That's why I'm asking him whatever he feels, as valid as that might be, or even if that is your goal, please reconsider. Because the people on the ship that had nothing to do with that decision,
Well, Cap knows where I am.
yes, please be the bigger person.
I'm okay. I don't wish to live up to that standard.
And you're missing a point, kid. That he's being a bigger person potentially, by doing what he can to help the folks at Trinity Shade at our expense.
If
At
I
his
can
own expense,
indirectly
too.
help
He's putting
them.
himself in danger.
Oh yeah, I mean, next planet we're on, I might be staying on that one. But if it means Trin gets a chance, so be it.
Well, hell, man, that's also kind of optimistic. We might not even make it out of the system if they decide to come after us directly.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I kinda have to, cause someone has to.
Yeah, Cap.
So you're fine. So you're not
That's the
worried
word.
they catch up with us, they fire, one of us dies. You're fine with that.
Oh no, because they won't.
What do you mean they won't?
Because if Cap's the bigger person, when sees the other one coming for us, she'll simply ask for my help.
So you're playing a game of brinkmanship, putting our lives on the line.
We're gonna get him a chicken currently. Gonna see who blinks first.
He's trying to keep helping the folks at Trinity Shade, and he's using. I can respect that.
And it would be fine if it was just him he's putting in danger. That's why I'm asking him to reconsider, because there are people on board who have absolutely nothing to do with that.
Now, let me throw that back to you, kid. Are you okay with Cap putting us in danger when she makes a decision we don't agree?
Well, I'm not happy about it. I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure I've made it plenty clear when I'm not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I walk off my station and that kind of thing and say I'm not doing anything until my demands are met? No.
Don't have any demands.
I have plenty of demands.
Why? What demands have I laid out?
That we help the people of Trinita Shade, and you're basically
It's too late for that
not
now.
making. Then what is your purpose in sitting here? If dude pointed out that this suits your agenda, that in this case passive aggressively, you're still helping by putting us in danger, and you're fine with that. If that's not what you're doing, if it's pointless, then please fly the ship.
Cap knows where I am.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
that's
reason,
kind of
kid. There's a reason I came. Dinner and drinks. Is This is, at the end of the day, a discussion is going to have to happen between Cap and Hugo. I just wanted to find out what that could about his motivations and make sure that he understood why I thought that Cap reacted the way that she did. But let me ask you now here, Hugo. Well, during our discussion, have I tried to change your mind on anything, or have I just explained my position?
You've explained your position.
Yeah.
I mean, I understood your position from the get-go. I just wanted it to be laid out that you view this place as a corporation, not as a crew.
Well,
Wait,
like you
who's a
said,
corporation?
we're not a democracy.
A corporation, one where your
Where
interests come before everyone else.
Yeah. We are here to make
wouldn't that be
money
nice?
and survive.
Well, yeah, and what I'm asking in this case is, can we get to safety and then hash it out? I'm not saying there is not a conversation that needs to be had. I'm just
But
asking
then
to get us
I'll also
safe.
lay out I'll also
Well,
lay out this point though. I'm currently holding one card in my hand. If I give up that card, then I have nothing to play with. Nothing to bargain with.
if he If he does what you want, Colin, if he adjusts his position for this moment because we are in danger, then from a argumentative standpoint, he stops having a leg to stand on. Once you compromise, you always have to compromise. You have to be consistent in your positions. Like I said, I can understand that.
Don't think you have to be consistent about it, but there's a time and place to have an argument like that. And the second we're in metaspace and he says, okay, I'm not flying that ship until we've laid some ground rules,
Well, no. See, the problem
then
is
we can make decisions.
if we get out of the system early, then the point of him making this stand and trying to protect the folks at Trinity Shade is now not a point anymore. You want to make the argument academic as opposed to actual substantive.
My argument is please don't put the people on the ship at risk.
But we're always at risk, kid.
Not the overarching dread of being hunted because of our existence, the actual dread of
You do
interceptors.
realize you was more of a threat on that planet than we are now, right? Yet Cap willingly took you down to that planet, did she not?
Yeah?
You was more in danger there than you're in now. Yet you seem to be much more irate now.
Because we know for a fact that they're launching. They
but
are
we don't.
actively sending ships.
Yeah, but we don't know where they're sending.
Yeah. I'm hoping to
Uh,
win the coin toss.
Yeah, his particular stand on this whole thing might actually end up being moot because if they go after them immediately,
Then, yeah, I'm just hoping they make the wrong choice and they come for us. In which case, I can waste their time and give the Trin possibly some time to get away. If I
where
were
are
to
you
simply fly
giving
the
them
ship
some
now, there'd be no
time?
choice.
he's
Of
running the
course we have
clock.
time.
Because remember, you did the math on the system setup, and we would end up arriving at the edge of the system at almost the exact moment when they might be, if with Cap flying. But that
If I
gives
take
us,
over,
yeah, it gives us a large chunk of time to deal with. If he takes over, maybe only a couple of hours before the end, that still gives us an edge.
yeah.
Am I saying that right, Hugo? I don't fly this
Yeah,
thing.
that's my point exactly. It's one of them. If they come straight for us, I'm going to waste as much time as possible. If they go for them, then there's nothing more I can do.
You bet on the wrong horse. Wait, what the hell is that?
I don't know. I'm just hoping you bet on the wrong driver.
There we go. At
Yeah,
that
I'm
moment, the
just
dude kind of with a slightly confused look on his face is now looking at his data pad, and there's if anybody looks over his shoulder, you can see what is horse.
yeah. I'm just hoping the perimeter make the wrong choice and come for us, so that way Trin have a chance.
And what if we miscalculated? And they actually catch us?
Well, then we got a fight coming.
I mean,
Yeah, and I'm asking to avoid that.
it's one of them. We currently have time on them. Currently, don't we? We're currently more ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's it's very convenient. At the time that you guys broke off from Nightshade, they were 12 hours away from the edge of the system, and with Cap piloting. Wait, hang on. Yeah, because Cap trimmed the course. That's right. And with Cap piloting and successfully trimming the course, you guys were 24 hours away. So if it's been 2 hours, you guys are now 22 hours away, and they're 10 hours away. Did that answer the question?
Sort of.
Can I clarify?
It's more Hugo's making the point that we're already ahead of them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Yeah. Hugo's making the point in character that we're already ahead of them, and as such, if we were to switch, we would probably get to the edge of the system before.
Okay.
So,
Go silent, or are we having connection issues?
No, there's silence.
Okay.
Yeah. Kid, if you want to have an, well, I'm talking. Yeah, I was going to talk to Colleen first, half a second. If you want to have an effect on this, you are going to need to talk to Cap. I am.
And what's that going to accomplish? If his whole idea is to make them bet on the wrong horse, and he's going to do that no matter what, he is not going to fly faster, no matter what Cap does or says.
Well, you don't know that. He's even said so.
So if Cap asks you, let's say in
I think he might be out
15
for a second,
minutes,
so.
Did we actually lose Ben for a second?
It sounded like it, yeah.
yeah, one sec.
Okay, cool.
And now there's just silence.
Yeah, there was a
Well-
break in conversation because Ben had to AFK
Like,
for a second.
repeat that. Parents just came in the room, and they've just
Ah,
they've just got back off holiday. So yeah. So yeah, repeat your last points or whatever he was asking Hugo.
Colleen was just saying, so if Cap in like 15 minutes asks you to fly the ship at maximum speed out of the systems, you will.
No.
Well,
I won't go maximum speed, so that because that would eliminate all chances of Trin getting away.
I believe he's taken his stance as an opportunity that Cap comes down for them to have another discussion on the merits of helping the Trin out.
I mean, I'll get us going, but I won't go max speed because that'll eliminate all chances of Trin getting away, e.g., us being a target. I want there to still be a possibility of us being a target.
well, what about us not being a target? Because that's bad.
Well, now Hugo, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I fix this thing. I don't fly it. You feel like you can keep us flying at a way that makes it that they technically could catch us, maybe, potentially, if they try hard enough. While you know for a fact that all you have to do is put your foot down, and they would never be able to catch us.
I feel confident enough.
So from your perspective, there is no danger to us. You're just running the clock down, knowing that the game-winning shot is in your pocket the whole time.
Sure. I know, it's like if you've ever been in a race. I know I've got a tank of NOS next to me. If I need to activate it, I have a go faster button.
And what if something goes wrong?
Then things go wrong. They could have gone wrong anyway.
Yeah, we might have missed on our shots there, kid. You might not have been able to knock their systems out and keep them from doing anything while
No,
peel them
cool.
like a peach.
So, Clean, I've got a question for you then. What if Cap messed up during her calculations? What happens if she didn't calculate right? What happens if we get there and she's not got it right? And we're still far away from the edge of the system? Would you be shouting at her?
First, I'm not shouting at anybody.
Oh, fine. Would you
Second,
be asking the question of her?
what question?
Why did she not become the bigger person and risk our lives by giving it a chance that she's maybe got the calculations wrong? Instead of, asking me, who's more experienced, to check it over and get the ship going where it needs to go.
Well, I would have asked her that next, but you already made it clear you wouldn't. That's
I
why I was
know,
asking.
but
So,
there was
what's your point there?
because she already set us on a course currently. She could
Yeah,
have, before setting us on that course, she could have been the bigger person and possibly talked to me. I mean, it would have made a difference, I'll say that now. She could have asked, but I would have still said, no, I'm okay. So that way the Trin would have a chance. But
that's
still,
my entire point.
she took a fairly large risk by trying to get us there in a roundabout way to the edge of the system, trimming the course and all that. Because if you get
Someone
that
had
wrong,
to fly the ship?
oh yeah, but if she messed that up like I've done a couple of times, not on this ship, but previously, it really slows you down, and then we'd have no chance.
Yes. And I wouldn't have been happy about that either. That's why I'm here asking you to fly the ship. Because you are the best pilot we've got.
We'll
To make
see.
sure that there is no margin of error.
We'll see. Time will
Because,
tell whether or not the risk was worth it.
yeah, and that's why I'm here to implore you to not make that risk. We already took a giant risk when we turned around and engaged them. Because
Yeah,
we
we
could
did,
have gotten away scot free.
and that was Cap's decision too.
Yeah, she risks our lives for what? I
To,
mean,
in this
Well,
case, help the Trin.
I was gonna say, now to be fair, in that case, yeah, that
yeah,
we are still trying to
but
help them.
yeah, so she risked our lives to help the Trin. That could have gone horribly wrong.
She risked her own
That
life.
was a worse
She did
situation.
head over to the ship first. Cap's willing to put her butt where on the line, but
All I'm saying is, the decisions she's made have been a higher risk than the ones I'm making. Yet no one seems to be questioning her. Or at least not
Well,
that I've heard of.
first of all, not a democracy.
Oh, I know, but
Second of
don't come
all,
to me about risk if you're not going to raise the issue with Cat.
because in this case it's an unnecessary risk.
It was technically unnecessary for us to help the Trin, but we did. Why couldn't we do it again? It was better odds.
In this case, it's worse odds.
well, it's only unnecessary if you don't give a shit about the trend.
Again, I'm going to make my point crystal clear. I'll wait until Cap asks me, I'll tell her no, I'll wait until the last second. I want to give the Trin as much chance as they can.
So what you're saying is anytime you're gonna disagree with something, you're gonna hold our ship hostage? Because we can't rely on you? Because that's what it feels like.
No, I'm telling you can rely on me, and to trust in me. But you're saying you don't trust in me, and that you want me to go against my word and my bond. I'm telling you I can do this, but you're saying you don't trust me and you want me to fly the ship. Do you not trust me?
How is that a question of trust if something goes wrong?
I'm telling you to
We're
trust me. Do you trust
screwed.
me?
That's not a question of
No,
trust.
I'm just straight up
I-
asking you, do you trust me?
In this case, I don't know you well enough to trust you. That's
Do you trust
partially
my
why I'm here.
capabilities? Do you trust my capabilities? Like I trust yours. I don't question your decisions.
Well, first, you should.
I
Second
may
of all,
provide ideas, but I never outright refuse yours because I know you're more knowledgeable than I am in
yeah,
these
but
regards.
I'm not infallible.
Oh,
That's
I
the
know.
point. It's not a question of trust. One mistake, or let the frickin' engine break down for whatever strange reason. Let a cosmic phenomenon strike us out of the blue. It
What
doesn't
difference would
matter
it
how
have
much I
made
try.
then? What difference would it have made if I'm flying or she's flying if this anomaly happens and we get the 1 in a million chance of an asteroid hitting us?
It was just an example. If you were flying, the asteroid would have passed us right by because we were already ahead. The point is, if something unforeseen happens, sure, might have been a magnitude, but wouldn't have made a difference. Oh well. But the margin of error here is so small, and you also are not infallible. So it doesn't matter if I trust because you're but human, I am but human, the captain is mostly human. But if you fly, if everything goes fine, there isn't even that risk. That is my point. Let's say you wait till the last minute, something goes wrong, we're screwed. Wouldn't have had to be that way.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, guys, we are at 12 o'clock here.
Yeah,
So we are.
I kind of don't mind putting a pin in this conversation, and then when Emma's back next week, us being able to transition it over to her.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any last thoughts they want to say?
Nope.
No,
I'm good.
It sounds like the conversation between Hugo, Dude, and Colleen has reached kind of a circular impasse.
Eh,
Go ahead and call that a game.